Welcome to episode 29, everybody. We are here for a jam-packed episode. I'm Luke Parrish, here along with...
I'm AJ Ferguson.
And you can see him.
And I'm Paul Tabling now on the camera for those of you that requested it. And along with our beautiful Star Wars Christmas tree.
God, what a good addition.
Dude,
look at
I love it.
Yeah, well, so we have a jam-packed episode, so let's quickly do what we've been watching.
Jump in.
Let's do it.
So I watched, it was Thanksgiving break for me, so I had 3 days off, 5-day weekend. I watched episode 1, 2, and 3, the prequel trilogy, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, and Revenge of the Sith. Super fun to watch them pretty quickly, back to back to back. I watched them within probably 48 hours of each other, like total, so that was pretty fun. I love the prequels probably more than the average person. So that was fun, and then I started this new on Disney Plus. I started watching Rebels, which is kind of the Clone Wars version of kind of the later
post episode 3.
Yeah. So basically the same-ish setup. It's just kind of a different era.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it. It's a fun, easy 20-minute watch here and there whenever I have time.
Yeah.
So
I watched 3 episodes last night. I got in bed and quickly just blew through 3 episodes. It was neat.
Yeah. They're easy to watch.
It's a cool little show. There's some really cool things that they've already done in season 1 so far. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. I watched 4 movies over my Thanksgiving break, and I also started Rebels. So I watched Batman and Robin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
So George Clooney and I don't know Robin's name, but
Chris O'Connell.
O'Donnell.
So that movie's terrible.
That's horrible.
Yes, but on a
terribly fun to watch.
On some level, I like it.
I know.
It's weird. And so then I also watched Batman Forever with Val Kilmer,
which is your favorite, right?
Of course.
I like that one.
Also terrible, but still fun to watch.
Oh yeah,
I like that one more.
And Jim Carrey's great in it as the Riddler.
For sure.
Yeah. So those are good. And then I watched let's flip it here. I watched 2 of the Mission Impossible movies. I watched Rogue Nation.
Yeah.
Which was very good.
Yeah.
And I watched Fallout, which was also very good.
Dude, Fallout was better than I thought.
I like the Mission Impossible.
I bought the special edition Mission Impossible box set, so I got all the movies with it. So I was like, hey, I haven't seen those 2 yet.
I think they're pretty underrated movies in general.
Well, they have
it's really solid
all of them
series.
have over 90% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, they're pretty good movies.
I loved them from in my 2 on.
In my 3,
I like the original, but that's kind of when I jumped into it.
Yeah,
I love it. In my 3, it's one of my favorites of all time.
I watched Rogue Nation and Fallout back to back, and so that was a really cool experience.
That's
to
cool.
Watch those 2 back to back.
I forgot about this one. We went and saw Knives Out.
Oh yeah,
in the theater.
Oh yeah.
That's the best audience movie of the year.
It was super fun. It was a fun movie to watch. It was. I don't know. We're gonna do a top 5 of the top 5 movies of 2019 later. I think in January, but. That's going to be on there for me, for sure. It's going to be on there somewhere. Yeah. I love that movie. It was a lot of fun. A lot of people were pooping on that movie because of Rian Johnson, which we'll probably talk about him here in a little bit, actually.
We definitely will.
But I liked the movie. I thought it was a fun movie. It was an interesting take on a murder mystery, traditional murder mystery setup. Like they took that traditional, this person died, no one really knows how. Kind of know how, but they're not really sure if that's accurate or not, and then they kind of twisted it and made it different. And it was a lot of fun to see Chris Evans in a different role other than Captain America, other than to see Daniel Craig in a different role other than 007. So it was fun. It was a fun movie. I recommend it if you haven't seen it in the theater. Go see it with as many people in the crowd as possible. I think that was a lot of fun. It was a packed house when we saw it. A lot of gasping and a lot of laughing and different things. It's fun to watch with a lot of people. It's one of those movies you want to see in the theater with a lot of people.
Sweet. Well, I'll go. I'm seeing it later this week.
It's a good movie. I enjoyed it a lot.
Let's talk about that some more. Paul?
Cool. I watched quite a few Disney movies, so bear with me here.
Disney Plus?
Disney Plus, baby. First off, not a Disney movie. I watched The Martian.
Yes. First time?
No.
Okay.
I've seen it quite a few times.
Good.
But realized that it's funny how in another episode we talked about this actress who was in Terminator, Mackenzie Davis, was in Blade Runner, was also in this movie. I was like, isn't it weird when you finally discover an actress and you're like, oh, they're in every other movie I've ever seen.
Yeah.
That's funny.
But watched that.
Great
and then Disney Plus, I finishedRebels this past week. Nice. I watched
wow.
Yeah, I know. You guys just started it. No, I've probably been watching it for
a month or
maybe
so.
a month. Yeah.
Solid.
But I watched Mulan with my wife.
Yes.
One of our favorites. Watched Coco for the first time.
Oh yeah,
that movie. It's a Pixar movie.
The
it's
Hispanic one.
Pretty good.
Yes, that movie is solid.
Really,
it is really.
It won a lot of awards.
Is it a lot of music?
Oh yeah, it's a lot of Latino mariachi music.
Cool.
I loved it. It was so good. And then it's also Christmas time, so my wife and I would try to watch a Christmas movie every night. We watched Noelle on Disney Plus.
Oh, I heard that was good.
That movie is actually really funny. It's Bill Hader and Anna Kendrick.
Yeah,
super good. I recommend it.
I like Bill Hader.
And then Muppets Christmas Carol, of course.
Nice.
Oh heck yeah,
you and the Muppets, man.
Dude,
Big
I love
time.
the Muppets.
Big time.
Nice. Is that everything?
That is that. Oh wait.
Oh,
Black Widow trailer.
Yes.
Also was today.
Yes. Did you see it?
I was pleasantly surprised.
Dude,
I
was too.
Old Hopper is the
good.
Russian Captain America.
Yeah. What the?
It's still
I was
a little
like,
weird.
what is he doing?
It's weird since we know she's dead.
Yeah,
it's not a spoiler.
Weird.
The movie's been out for months. Since we know she's dead, it feels like the movie's
weird.
almost too late. But also,
It's too soon.
But I'm also excited for it
Too soon.
because
too late
it
and
was.
too soon?
It actually looked good.
It
No,
looks
it
With
does.
Taskmaster.
It does
and,
look good.
um,
I'm really surprised they got Hopper because he's so popular right now.
Also, everyone like Hopper was trending on Twitter today. Just the word Hopper, and people only know him as Hopper.
As Hopper.
I know that's what I'm saying. Like nobody knows his name as an actor because
Right.
he's so famous for that role. Like that's surprising to me that Marvel would go get someone like that. I don't know. I thought that was interesting.
Hey,
dude.
like I'm not mad about it.
Gotta
I
get
love
the
that
big
guy.
times.
He's awesome.
He
He's a
looks
great
great.
actor. He looks great in the trailer. So
So
I was just
All right.
surprised by that.
Is that all we got for what we
Yep,
watched?
that's it.
All right,
Okay.
let's keep this train going.
Yep.
Mandalorian episode 4 came out last Friday.
Ooh.
Sanctuary.
The Sanctuary, yes. Let's hear our initial thoughts on it, guys.
So I really enjoyed this episode.
Mm-hmm.
It had a very like Magnificent Seven Samurai, Kurosawa feel to it, where it's like local villagers are in turmoil, go find the big bads to help them.
Right.
I really love that, just in general, and it kind of made it seem like more kind of down to earth. Like you're like almost wanting to like settle down. But you're like, no, he's the Mandalorian. He can't settle down.
Yeah, at one point in an episode, you're like, oh, just kiss her. Take off the helmet and kiss her.
Right.
And then you're like, oh, no, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like part of that was due to the director being Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
But another cool thing about, and I think that she kind of took a few ties from, was a lot of like with the ATST.
Yeah.
Felt a lot like Jurassic Park.
It did. That was cool.
I was like, that was super dope.
Yeah, it was cool.
They did make
that was a great scene.
Make those look cooler than what they initially were in like the original series.
Yeah,
that was
rather than
trilogy.
the weird chicken walker looking things.
Yeah, they get smashed by logs and
that was a great scene, bro. When they came through the
comes through the trees.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Ewoks. Okay, so this was actually. Let me give you some context. So I've liked every episode, including this one, but this was my least favorite of.
Okay, so I would agree with that. It's my least favorite. I'm not saying it's bad in any way. It was my least favorite. I agree with you.
Yeah, I thought the acting wasn't great. I thought some of the dialogue was a little cheesy. I thought some of the plot devices just like didn't really work for me. Like trying to get the ATST to take a step forward into the pond.
Yeah,
I was like, that's a little weak.
Mm-hmm.
And then like I feel like they forgot that episode 6 happened. Like she was on Endor.
Yeah, she says she was in the battle of Endor.
So she saw how they just tore apart those ATSTs like it was nobody's business, and they're like, oh, we can't take that on. Like we have to move. I'm like, a bunch of freaking mini bear stuffed animals took those on.
That's fair.
I don't know. There was some stuff for me that didn't work.
Mm-hmm. I didn't like her for whatever reason. I don't know why. And it's not a sexist thing. It's not even like a weird like. I don't know. She just didn't work for me.
She was hit or miss for me because I like the actress. What's her name?
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't know her name.
Fact check us real quick, Paul.
Also MMA fighter.
Yeah,
I knew she was semi-famous before, but like I don't know, like for whatever reason, her character didn't really fit for me. It didn't really like she wasn't necessary. I don't know, like that episode could have totally taken place without her. Like he could have, saved those people and figured out how to take down the ATST like by himself. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know because I like her as an actress, but like I think I was cool with her character being there. Because they just, I felt like they needed to have someone, but
Gina Carano?
Yeah, Her. She's also in Deadpool.
Yeah, she's in a bunch of she's in one of the Fast and Furious movies. She's just like this big tough fighter chick.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think the character was written a little weird.
Do you think she'll be like a character for the rest of the season?
No. She'll come back at some point, I bet.
I figure she'll probably be I figure she'll probably be in a couple.
I figure she'll be in the next episode since it follows up immediately.
Well,
they go on the ship together?
No, they separated. She said, "I'll see you later,"
right.
and
they high fived and they yeah. You're right.
I don't know. For me, and like the lady in the village like came along a little too strong to Mandalorian.
I agree with that.
I was like, dang, they've known each other for like 12 hours, and they are.
I think there's
there's
a bigger story to that girl though.
Well, there is because she's the only one that knew how to fire a weapon.
Yeah, no doubt. There's no way
No.
she fired a weapon that well.
No doubt. And she had an interesting backstory that didn't really get explored at all. But I don't know how long he was there for, and they did a poor job expressing how long he was there for. At one moment, I was like, he's been here for a day, lady. Like, leave him alone. And then at one point, I was like, holy crap, he might have been there for like months.
Weeks or,
yeah. Because the kid at one point was like playing with all the other children. Like, I want to miss you so much. And I was like, how long has this been? How long have they been there?
It was an hour and a half story that got fit into like 40 minutes.
So for me, I agree. It was too condensed, and they did a poor job of explaining how long he was there. I like the idea of the villagers and the rallying around and showing how he's still very heroic. He wants to protect people.
Yeah,
I think that was all interesting and exciting. Yeah. But there were some cool things some cool action sequences. We already talked about the chase scene with the walker. I thought that was really cool. In the dark, I thought that was awesome. But for me, I don't know. The love interest thing is interesting because he's Mandalorian. You're like, no, bro, you can't do that. But then you're like, oh, he's human too. So I thought that was it's a cool, powerful storyline. I just thought it was executed poorly, or at least too quickly.
It was too much packed into one episode that probably needed to span like a little bit more, I think.
See, this could have been a 2 or 3 episode arc for me, maybe. Try to kind of... But the season's so short. It's so hard to do that.
But then you would have went on one of those
so
Walking Dead.
Yeah, it's so hard. It's so hard to do. It's so hard to do what they're doing right now, and be serialized with this very old school way of doing TV.
If the episodes were just a half hour longer.
See, that is a good point.
Bump it up to 60 minutes.
Yeah, if it was
an
hour long.
Yeah, 8 episodes, 60 minutes. I think 8 episodes 30 minutes ish.
I did like the helmet being talked about. I liked him taking it off at one point.
Yeah.
I liked her trying to take it off and him grabbing her hands. I liked that. I thought that was really cool, really interesting. He says he hadn't taken it off for anyone since he was
a child,
but then he says he took it off yesterday, and I was like, whoa, wait, what? I was like, oh, he has to eat.
Yeah.
He has to bathe.
So I'm glad that they addressed that side of practicality. He literally has to take the mask off to live.
Yeah.
Right.
But he doesn't let anyone see his face. I thought that was really cool.
I have been waiting this whole time to just see him drinking a smoothie through a straw under the helmet.
Well, I was picturing him holding his helmet like this, and then feeding you just see Batman style. This
just
part of his face.
Mouth.
But that would be so cheesy. So yeah, I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they kind of made that they made him more human in this episode than he has been so far.
Yeah,
and I liked that. So I agree with you, and I agree with you.
Yeah,
I do think it was the weakest one so far, in my opinion. At least linearly, the story failed more than any other storyline had failed so far.
Okay.
Not that it's bad. I don't think it's a bad episode. I just think it was the weakest one.
One thing we haven't talked about at all were the amazing kid baby Yoda moments.
I was about to bring those up.
Where he was
all-time cuteness level.
I saw Harold post this video. I don't know if you saw it or not. But he's flipping on the switch.
Oh, yes.
And someone went in and added rap music.
Rap music.
So we did that at work with
It's so good.
We did that at work.
It's so good. And then at one point he just looks at him and then flips.
Dude, that was the best thing because it was just such a kid thing to not even look completely the other way and hit the button.
He's looking right here. He's like, oh, you don't think I'm going to do this? Oh, watch me. And he just flipped it. Yeah.
So there was that one.
That
and
was
then
great.
Where they're fighting in the alley and it's just sitting there slurping on some soup.
Yes.
I was like,
that was great.
I loved it.
So I didn't like the fight scene with her and him.
Yeah.
I thought it was them trying to prove instantly that she was super cool and tough and whatever.
But
at the same time, you could have done that in a different way without making him look meh.
He could have
I don't know.
seen like come out and like because he was looking for it, and, like followed her down an alleyway. All of a sudden,
Yeah.
she gets like I don't know, like
Gets the
jumped or
jump on
something.
him.
He's like, oh
Yeah.
crap, and he just watches her just take out like 3 guys or something.
Yeah, I think that would have been better. I didn't like them fighting each other because he can't win. If he beats her, it's like, oh, she's a girl. If she beats him, you're like, holy crap, she's awesome and he's like so weak.
But he's the Mandalorian.
But he's the Mandalorian. So to
Yeah.
me, there's been several moments in the show so far that have been really interesting to me that have shown his like weakness as a fighter.
Yeah.
Like several times, he's like lost or like been like in a really bad position.
He's not great at like hand-to-hand combat
he's really
as
not.
he is, weapon-wise.
And so I don't know if
Yeah.
that's going to get better. I don't know if they're trying to set that up for something later. I don't know. But for me, I didn't like that scene. I thought that was a little bit too much for me.
I get it.
But I did like the baby Yoda sitting there like
Yeah.
that was awesome. That was great.
But yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's
So
some good things in there, some bad things. For me.
one last little question, and then we can move on. Was the ATST like piloted by people, or did it look like it was like an AI kind of like a droid?
It was piloted because whenever he throws in the detonator, you can hear people like, ah!
Yeah, that's,
Didn't catch that.
I heard that, and then he shoots the window at one point, and it like falls down
Yeah.
on one side, I think, and you can kind of see like
Okay.
shadows or something.
Man,
like that.
I don't know. Like I think it was the red eyes.
But yeah, the red
honestly.
eyes made it look,
But like made it look
shady.
like it was. And when it like took the like half step and then backed up, I was like, man, a pilot wouldn't have done that. None,
Yeah.
but I don't know.
Have we seen that race before? The alien race?
Yes,
Like the dog people?
Yeah, the dog looking
they
people.
were. I think it was like in Jabba's palace kind of thing because there were a bunch of different ones
Yeah.
running around.
That was cool. That was cool to see a new planet.
Yeah.
It was an interesting, like the first 30 seconds of this episode was really bizarre. It was kind of, it
Like
was
the
like,
farming.
yeah, it was like we're on Earth basically. But then you saw like the little droid go by and like the little alien frog and
Yeah.
toad, like whatever thing that was. I don't know. I thought that was interesting that they kind of made it like from the beginning, try to make it feel very like human.
Yeah.
It was interesting. I thought it was an interesting episode. I need to watch it again, honestly, but it was the weakest one in my opinion.
Well, yeah. I feel like we all kind of had roughly the same
Good and bad.
outlook on it. So
Yeah.
I do like
Cool.
the girl character, not the fighter girl, the love interest girl. I think she'll come back around for sure, or he'll come
Interesting.
visit her or something.
She's
I have a-
gotta. She's
I have a
gotta.
feeling
She's got to
it'll-
come around.
I have a feeling it'll be like end of the last episode. He like goes back to that planet and like
Takes
they
his
do
helmet
like
off.
the whole run. No, I have a feeling it'll be like a heard it here first, folks. They're gonna like run up and you're just gonna see the helmet fall and then it's gonna fade to
Yeah, that's what I'm
credits.
saying. So he'll go back and he'll be flying and he'll be like all serious and whatever. Be like, oh, where's it going? And he'll go to this plane. We're like, oh yeah, and then he'll all excited. Like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
takes his helmet off and you're like,
Babe.
it's out.
babe.
Babe, no, babe, wait, babe, wait, babe.
Adrian.
Yeah.
What movie is that from?
That's Hot Rod.
That is Hot Rod. Babe, no, babe, wait, babe.
Babe.
Have you seen Hot Rod?
No.
Bro, it's Will Arnett. It's like, babe, no, wait, babe, no, babe.
She has like the weirdest run away from that car. Yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Well, is that it
All
for the
right.
That's it.
Mandalorian?
Yep.
All
We're
right.
ready to
stuff.
move into the meat of the
The
episode.
main act, guys.
Let's go. All right.
Star Wars
This
month.
is honestly, I think, the most excited I've been for an episode since Endgame.
Wow.
I mean, I look forward to each episode.
I do
It's just
too.
like this one.
True.
It's like
I legitimately,
It's on a new level.
I look forward to recording every week. But
Aw.
for me, like this episode, we've been talking about this episode for what,
Months.
6 months,
yeah,
like literally since Endgame. We've
probably
been talking
probably
about
since
this
Endgame. Yeah,
episode because like Endgame happened in April, May,
May.
and we were like, bro, yes, and we were like, oh, what's the next big thing? December. Like
Star
so
Wars.
we've been planning this for forever, so I'm pumped,
Yeah,
dude. I'm pumped,
yeah.
big time.
This is kind of just like a mosh pit hodgepodge of
Dude.
just Star Wars things.
Oh
like
yeah.
ultimate questions. We
Mm-hmm.
discuss some stuff. Episode 3, episode 8.
This is just some funsy like conversation that you would have with your buddies at lunch, kind of.
Yeah.
In my notebook, it says general discussion / nerd sesh.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. 100%.
So yeah.
100%.
Let's start off this nerd sess with,
All right.
what do we got first?
All right. So we're gonna go through a few like our top favorite things,
Yep.
and we're not gonna do movies because we're playing that for a later episode. But
Yes.
we're gonna start off hot with first favorite character and second favorite character.
Okay.
We want to
So-
go around and do ones and then twos, or we want to do
Well, yeah. Let's do ones and then twos.
okay,
Okay.
or twos and then ones, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's better.
Okay, my
So,
second favorite character.
Second favorite character
in the
AJ.
Star Wars universe.
Star Wars universe.
Mace
is
Windu.
Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, what?
Oh dang.
I love Palpatine.
Oh snap! Hot take already.
I love Palpatine because for me, the most interesting villains are the conniving masterminds behind everything. Like
But
those.
he'll kick your butt though.
But he'll also
Whoop, yeah.
come down out of there and he'll whoop you. You know.
He'll freaking spiral his way at you.
So
like
I was watching the prequels and I'm sitting there and I'm like 10-year-old me had no idea that he was the Emperor. Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know because I didn't put it together.
I
And
remember
now I'm sitting
putting it
there and I'm
together,
like,
but yeah.
holy crap, George Lucas is a genius for writing the way he did, the dialogue that he had for Palpatine. I'm not saying The Phantom Menace is a good movie. I'm just saying
Whoa.
that Palpatine in The Phantom Menace is like a little bit creepy, a little bit edgy, a little bit shady, and it builds every movie in the prequels.
But he makes everyone trust him too.
He's so good, dude. He's such a good
Yeah.
bad guy. And then obviously in the original trilogy, he's creepy. He's like the mastermind that like is more powerful, and Darth Vader's scared of him.
Yeah.
So like he's just like the ultimate villain for me, and I love him. He's a great bad guy. For me, he's kind of the anchor to the whole series on that side, that dark side. Because Vader obviously is like the famous bad guy, but I don't know. For me, the Emperor's kind of the anchor.
Well, he's
on
been
that side of
he's been
things.
in every trilogy now. Well, if
he's in
9
episode
comes
9.
true, if the
And it's the same actor.
if the
Yeah,
teasers
dude.
come through,
Crazy.
he's gonna be in every single
And he's a great actor.
trilogy. Yeah.
He's so good.
All right. Well, my
Because episode 3 Palpatine is like
go for it, man. Hey,
episode 3 Palpatine's like the boss, like just because he's like good and bad and shady and not, and like and then you get to see him fight and he uses the lightning for the first time. Oh no, so good,
Man,
so
yeah.
good.
If
Episode
he
3
didn't
we'll talk
talk
about
weird. All right, Luke, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Number 2.
I didn't start the timer for AJ. We're
I
gonna
know.
try and time ourselves to keep it
My
short.
My bad.
My number 2 is Luke Skywalker.
Yes.
So
Nice.
not only because we share the same
Share the name.
name,
That's right.
but man, this guy's like he's so. Obviously, it's the Skywalker saga.
Soccer?
Which movie is his like peak?
My favorite is 6 for me
Okay.
because
Green lightsaber Luke.
green lightsaber Luke.
Yes.
First off, his lightsaber's legit.
It's legit.
That
It is.
black like outfit he
The
wears,
black outfit with the black
legit.
glove and the fake hand.
yeah,
Yep.
so cool.
Yep.
And then he's like, I don't know. I think because he's like in the middle of the Force. He's not. He's neither good nor bad. He's like in the neutral areas where
yeah.
he walks.
He's the
He
gray.
force chokes that pig thing.
He's the gray
Yeah.
area.
Yeah, dude.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. And so for him, like him being that neutral character, I guess, is what I really love. He's not the traditional Jedis that you're all high and mighty. He's not the Sith which are like, oh, I want to suck your blood and force choke you and all that stuff. Like he sees the I feel like he sees the benefits of both and then uses those effectively.
Interesting.
So I love that a lot. And then he's also got that very like not traditional, not cheesy, but like farm boy becomes the hero story.
Well, he's the underdog. He's the young hero who has to, become a man. All
But
that
the
stuff.
thing is, like, think about it though. If we would have seen, we didn't know that in episode 4 before 1, 2, and 3 came out. So think about if 1, 2, and 3 came out, and then we knew he was probably like him and Leia were gonna be prominent. Like we knew that if those movies came out before 4, 5, and 6, like I think that would have been a different viewing experience than what it was.
I'd agree.
But no, yeah, Luke Skywalker is my boy.
It is really fun to watch episodes 1, 2, and 3 with the idea of the Empire and New Hope and Luke and like that's always
What happens post Fall of Jedi?
It's really fun to watch the little seeds that get planted.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Luke is so interesting to me. He's a great character.
Yeah.
Number 2.
All right, mine will be short and quick because, I mean, who doesn't love this guy? My second favorite character is Chewbacca.
Let's go.
Dude.
Right there,
Right
there in front of the tree.
That's why we got the ornament.
Have you ever heard the prank of the Chewbacca prank that you do at school or anywhere?
Yeah,
Have you heard this
we
prank?
did we do this
Yes.
at college?
Yes.
Yeah, we did. With
Okay, so
Connor Harris.
For all of you
No?
guys out there who want to
No,
prank
it's
your
Kyle.
buddies, what you do is you have a poster and you put your friend's phone number on there and you say $100,000 cash prize for the best Chewbacca impersonation.
Oh, no.
If the phone number doesn't answer, leave a message. So
my
your
God.
friend gets blown up with all these nerds, and all they do is the Chewbacca impersonation. And so my
That's
friend gets his
awesome.
phone, and he has his messages box is full, and every message is some nerd on campus messaging him and
Yes,
leaving him the
I
Chewbacca.
remember that.
That's so good.
Because we did that. We did it with you, me, and Connor Harris.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So good.
Yeah,
I bet you that dude's still getting calls.
Yeah.
That's
So if you want to
awesome.
prank your friends, there you go, guys.
That's amazing.
It's a fun
Chewbacca.
one.
Why Chewbacca?
So I just love, and I mean it's pretty prevalent when you hear my first character, but like I just love that, like, the sidekick, but
Yeah.
he's also got an attitude.
It's the ultimate sidekick.
Like he's he's always fixing things and everything, but even though you have no idea what he's saying, he's giving Han Solo or Luke
He's got
or
lots-
C-3PO with some
a
tood.
lot of sass.
He's like, you can tell.
I love Chewbacca in Episode 7. It's one of my favorite peak Chewbacca moments in there. Good stuff.
Ooh,
So-
what's your favorite? Who's your Palpatine? What's your favorite
3.
Palpatine moment?
3.
Like,
Ooh.
Oh, moment?
yeah, moment.
Single moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my Luke one. It's whenever he says, "I'm a Jedi like my father before me." I'm just like, oh,
The
Yes.
chills.
yes.
The tingles. I will think about that. That's a really tough question. That put me on the spot. I'll think about it.
Okay, think about it. We'll come back to it later.
Come back to it.
Who's your number one?
My number one. Do you know?
I know it because it's mine.
Oh, really?
Oh,
Yeah.
dang.
Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Obi-Wan
Obi-Wan,
Kenobi.
yes. Okay. Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Wow.
Okay, so I friggin' love Obi-Wan. I've always loved Obi-Wan. He is like, for me, if I could be any Jedi, he'd be the Jedi I would be.
So cool.
He's cool.
Oh, yeah.
He's classy. He's smooth. He's always in control of every situation.
Mm-hmm.
He can play people. He's also very powerful. He's just the perfect, like, heroic archetype for me.
He has those funny little moments too.
And he has these goofy little things that he does. Episode 1, Obi-Wan's different from 2 and 3 and 4. And so I think that's what's interesting to me about Obi-Wan is every movie he's a little bit different and a little bit interesting. Honestly, he's one of the reasons I like the Clone Wars, I think, so much is because he's one of the main characters and he gets a lot of screen time.
Yeah.
So I like that a lot about that. But I want to hear your thoughts specifically on why you like Obi-Wan.
So I love Obi-Wan probably because of his connections with people.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's a little bit of mystery to him too. So I love his connection with Anakin, like the whole
Yeah, for sure.
episode 3, you were like a brother
No
to
doubt.
me and all that. I love
No doubt.
you.
Good stuff.
That makes me freaking cry every
Oh,
single time.
heartbreaking.
'Cause, my gosh, dang it, I love this.
No doubt.
But Ewan McGregor's performance in
Yeah.
that is so good. But I love him in Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the TV show,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
because especially the episodes where he's on the planet and he's kind of got that queen that he knows. And
Yeah,
you're
the
he's
Mandalorian.
that's,
Mandalorian
like,
planet.
Mandalorian
Yeah,
planet.
you're like, this is definitely like a love interest of his.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah, no doubt.
they never say it, but I'm like, I'd love to go more into that.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite arcs in the whole show is whenever he's on Mandalore
Yeah.
and Darth Maul's there, and yeah, that's great.
It's
Great
so
stuff.
good. But yeah, I
So
love him.
which Obi-Wan's your favorite? 1, 2,
3.
3, or 4?
3.
3. 3's my favorite too.
Yeah.
I love 3. Gosh, he's just so good, and I'm glad that they went with that decision on the Clone Wars, making him closer to Episode 3.
Well, he feels like such a different Jedi Master too. I think he's
no
on the
doubt.
younger side for a Jedi Master because Yoda's old, Windu's old, like everyone else looks old
Yeah,
on the Jedi Council. But he's like the younger guy that's in like his late 30s, early 40s, and he's like they sent him on his own to like battle General Grievous on his
Yeah.
own. Like that's crazy.
he has a massive amount of respect. I mean, I would view him as the 3rd, maybe the 4th, like leader on the council.
Think about it. Think all the people he takes out. He takes out Darth Maul.
Yep.
He takes out Grievous.
Multiple times.
He takes out Anakin.
Yeah. He defeats Darth Maul, Grievous, and Darth Vader
Yeah.
single-handedly.
Yep.
I don't know if there's another Jedi who has a resume like that.
No.
Honestly, like in hand-to-hand combat. So I always make the argument with my students that Obi-Wan Kenobi is the most powerful Jedi of all time, which of course is not true.
Yeah.
I know I'm wrong. It's not even close. But they're always like, "Oh, you're so wrong." I'm like, "Okay,
Tell me why.
tell me why." And I always give those 3 reasons: Darth Maul, Grievous, and Vader. Who Vader is like the most powerful Jedi ever, or whatever, to make that argument. So if that's your argument, well, my guy beat your guy, so come on. So they're like, "Well, they can't say that." So they're like, "Well, Yoda." And I'm like, "Okay, maybe that's a pretty good argument." But anyway, so that's pretty fun. And then for me, the other reason I love Obi-Wan so much is like he trains the 2 most powerful Jedi of all time.
Luke and
Luke and Anakin.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so to me, that's awesome that he is humble enough, but also powerful and wise enough to train both of those characters. I think that's really cool for me.
He's also a stinking bro. Like he
no
knew
doubt.
Anakin and Padme had a thing.
No doubt.
He didn't tell nobody.
No doubt. That's super cool.
He's such a bro.
Yeah, and he takes care of Padme even after Anakin's gone.
God, he's such a he's a
great.
good
He's
guy.
a great dude. I love old man
all
Obi-Wan.
around good guy.
I'd love to go get beers with him.
I love I love old man Obi-Wan too. Alec Guinness does a great job, episode 4. And then the Force Ghost. I love the Force Ghost Obi-Wan. I love Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan's relationship. I think that's really, really interesting because it gives you a lot of insight into the way that Obi-Wan treats Anakin and Luke.
Qui-Gon is somewhat the same.
He's a lot like Qui-Gon, and he ends up becoming a lot like Qui-Gon, where he kind of blurs those lines a little bit, but he is a good Jedi and a good person at the end. In the end, you know.
No,
so that's really interesting. Okay, Paul, you're number 1. I think I know.
Well, I hinted at it.
Yeah, you already kind of hinted.
But
at it,
it is Han Solo.
Yeah, no surprise. Yeah,
all
great
day
character.
long. I love the Jedi in every respect, but whenever I was a kid and we'd play Star Wars in the backyard or whatever, I always was Han Solo.
Okay, so when you were a kid, you were kind of raised on the original trilogy.
Oh yeah.
We, at least in me, I watched the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Of course.
We watched those all the time as kids.
But for me, the prequels were my jam, and especially episode 3, which we'll talk about that later.
Right.
But so I'm extremely biased. If I were just choosing my favorite character from the original trilogy, it would be Han Solo. No doubt in my mind. But for me, Obi-Wan is just like my homeboy. You know?
Yeah, no,
so that's
fair.
why it's interesting to me is because you're different from us because you're slightly older and you kind of watch those movies more in those like really transformative years.
Yeah.
That were really important to kind of the way you view things.
Yeah.
Definitely.
That's really interesting. And it's cool that you put those two characters together
Han
for 1
Solo
and
and
2.
Chewbacca.
They got to go together.
That's the best team
in
movie history.
no doubt.
Forget
No
Batman and Robin. It's Han Solo and
So
Chewbacca.
favorite Han Solo 4, 5, 6, 7
Ooh, it's probably episode 4.
Or Solo.
or Solo.
Okay, Solo was not bad.
I liked Solo.
I liked his character.
I like Solo.
The movie had some iffy choices.
No doubt.
But we'll probably get into
Solid.
that a little bit later as well.
Okay,
but
so-
I did like him in Solo. I almost put Han Solo, and if I'd had a third, it'd probably be like Lando Calrissian.
I love Lando.
Okay, so you like that group. It feels
So-
like a very
He likes the
distinct
bad
group.
boy smuggler group.
I do, but
Yeah.
like I love the Jedis and everything. Like, yeah, if we were saying top favorite Jedi, it'd probably be like, I could go with Obi-Wan or Yoda or Mace Windu or somebody. I love the Jedi.
Yeah.
But for me, I've always just been more of a
Blaster kind
kind of person.
Boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Also the legit
Episode 4, Han Solo is, for me, it's peak Han Solo. Do you agree or disagree? I like him because he's like pre-good guy, but he's still a good guy.
Yeah, he's a scoundrel.
He's like a scoundrel. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like him. And I love
And
the
he's got the
sassy.
classic
I love,
lines,
I love
too.
the sassiness that he has with everybody. He's just like,
Yeah.
screw you guys.
I like episode 5 Han Solo.
Yeah.
5 is good.
I like 5 too.
Scruffy nerf.
I
fighter.
honestly, for me,
Always calling her princess.
I would probably lean 7 for me.
7 was good,
I
man.
loved Han Solo. in
And see,
episode 7.
okay,
he was so good.
I guess I should have done this way. There are only 2 people in the entire Star Wars saga that I cried for,
When they died,
and it was Han Solo
And Mace.
Windu.
Yes.
Golly.
That's who should have been 1 and 2, actually.
That honestly
Like,
should have been
ugh.
the moments you cry. We should have listed the moments you cried the first time.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So you legit cried in episode 7?
Oh yeah. Like I was tearing up in the theater.
I got
bro.
close.
I did
honestly-
I was like,
happiness.
ah.
I got close.
The scene where they're at was it Maz's palace?
Uh-huh.
Oh yeah.
And the fighting breaks out and stuff, and all of a sudden you see all the X-wings start coming over the water. Oh, it gives me
That was
chills.
a great scene. That's a really underrated movie. I like 7 a lot.
7 was good.
People give
was
it
good.
crap because it's part of the
Oh, dude.
the
The new
sequels,
ones.
and
People are
everyone's
just
like, the
hating on
sequels suck.
everything, bro.
Star Wars fans are the worst.
Star Wars fans are the worst. Bunch of
That's very true.
yeah,
All
dude.
right.
Han Solo's great. Okay, next
So
question.
now-
least favorite.
This can be
Wait, hold on. I have some honorable mentions for.
okay.
I have a couple.
So all of you guys out there who don't have Han, Chewie, Sidious, Obi-Wan,
and Luke.
or Luke Skywalker on your list, I'm sorry. Luke has some honorable mentions. I have a couple honorable mentions. Do you have any off the top
I'll
of your
just
head?
throw Mace Windu in there.
Okay,
Okay.
Mace Windu for sure is solid.
So,
What you got?
After watching episode 7, like Poe Dameron was one of my top favorite, like
Poe's
top characters. I loved him, but
7
then,
Poe is good.
Then 8 Poe kind of like soured me a little bit because then they like changed his character. Now he's like a whiny like man child.
He needs a swift kick in the nuts.
Yeah, in that
I feel
episode,
that.
and it's just like Lee. So Poe was gonna be like probably my number 2, but then 8 soured that because I liked him a lot in episode 7.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Rey.
Okay, Rey's also a honorable mention.
I like Rey a lot. I think she's a solid character, really strong, really honest. I mean, she's carrying this trilogy right now, but I think she's a really underrated character in the Star Wars saga as a whole.
Yeah, I think they're not using her enough.
I agree.
Like, I think she should have been.
I like Kylo. I do like Kylo. I think he's extremely interesting.
He's my second favorite in the sequel, or third favorite in the sequel.
But him and Rey kind of go together, and so that's kind of as they can't really upstage the other because they're always together and they're always they're kind of linked together. So.
Yeah, I think she's underutilized. Though.
Okay, so I don't know how popular opinion this is. I love Count Dooku.
I think he's cool.
Like Darth Maul, people are always like Darth Maul's the best like villain ever. I'm like Darth Maul's okay.
Duh.
Like he's cool.
He didn't say anything.
He's cool. He didn't talk.
Duh.
And he didn't really do anything. He got like he killed Qui-Gon and then died, I guess.
Well, he had one of the coolest fight scenes.
He came
unless
back,
you count the animated series, like
he came back, I guess. But I don't know. For me, I love Count Dooku. I don't know why. He's a great character. He's really interesting for me.
Okay, I want to set some ground rules really quick for what we're talking. Are we going to specifically talk about movies, TV shows? I figure we're excluding comics, and books and all that.
I'm
for me, I'm talking about movies predominantly.
Okay.
I mean, I included. I have a top TV show in here too. But
I do too. But
so mostly movies. But
I think let's keep to the movies, and if there's a good point in the series, we'll do that. I just feel like before I start going, well, in the comic books, then.
Since you're the only one who read the comic books, we'll exclude those.
I like Count Dooku, I think, because he's kind of like the Obi-Wan Kenobi version of a bad guy. He's classy. He's put together. He doesn't really want to fight unless he has to, but if he does have to, he's like, okay, let's go, kind of thing. You know?
He's like a old guy, like fencer in a way.
Yeah, he's very like, I don't know. I like him.
Interesting take. All right, we want to jump into least favorites or any more honorables.
I like General Grievous as well.
That's all I had for honorables.
I thought General Grievous was super cool.
All right, AJ, second least favorite character.
Teenage Anakin. Episode 2.
Yeah, he sucks.
He was bad. Real bad. I'm going to go ahead and say my number 1 as well.
Padme, come back.
Child Anakin. Those are my bottom 2. And I'm being dead serious. I know a lot of people poop on Jar Jar and whoever else, but for me,
I'm actually okay with Jar Jar.
I like Jar Jar, but a lot of people don't.
He wasn't horrible.
He's not the bottom. But for me, the bottom 2 are Episode 1 Anakin and Episode 2 Anakin. I actually like Episode 3 Anakin a lot. I thought he was really strong, great character, great job.
Great hair.
Great hair. I love the scar on the face, and it's a nice touch. But yeah, for me, goodness, man. I don't know if it's the actor. I don't know if it was the writing.
Dude, that child actor didn't do anything else after this because
I saw a picture of him the other day, and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah, he went to like prison for something.
Yeah, he's Sketchville. Anyway, I don't know what it was, but those two guys, like those two characters in those two movies, just, man, they were bad. They were really, really bad.
I hate sand.
It's like sand is so coarse and rough. And like,
here, let me force this apple over to you from across the table.
I always thought it was really fun. It's super random. But there's a scene in the basement on Tatooine where Luke goes down, and that's where the message is played in episode 4. And that's where Anakin goes.
Talks about hating sand.
And talks about hate. No, that's where he goes and talks about he hates Obi-Wan, and he hates the sand people, and he hates all the whatever. And he throws the little like thing.
Yeah.
And doesn't hit the wall for like 2 seconds. That always bothered me. For
Maybe he
some
threw it,
because he's like
stopped it, and then like just let it go.
Because he throws it, and it's like. I'm like, what a sissy.
He threw it down the hall.
He couldn't even throw the thing against the wall. I don't know why, but that scene always bugged me. I was like, the sound editor should be fired.
That's awesome.
Because literally he goes so much later. But anyway, I don't like either of those characters.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
just it's
No,
bad.
hey,
it's bad, dude.
All right.
An honorable mention for me, I'm gonna go ahead and get it out there, is Rose. From
Okay, she's my least favorite character in all
She is
Star Wars.
also my least favorite.
Oh, really?
character.
Okay, that's my honorable mention. So I wanted to give her some hate too because she's bad.
I'll give you my honorable mention real quick. C-3PO.
That hurts.
Whoa.
That hurts.
I know that's
deep.
deep. I know.
Whoa.
Well, then
dude,
I know
on the tree and
Respect,
everything,
bro.
Hold on.
Respect.
So
No respect.
like while I was sitting down, I was like, man, who's like.
I do agree. He's kind of annoying. Sometimes.
Who's been in every movie?
He's low key annoying.
Okay, so the thing is, I don't have that many like least favorite characters.
That's
I have,
true.
I have,
fair.
I have two that like they just come to mind. I was like, I need to let me try and come up with something. But he's probably like my least favorite of the ones I like. Maybe
he's low key.
Okay.
if that makes sense.
I mean, if I could do without a character, it'd be him, no doubt.
Yeah.
But like,
he's there
C-3PO,
for
bro.
comedic effect.
Yeah.
I mean, really,
And he's a human robot.
what has he done
I mean, nothing.
other than
Translate
translate for
things.
Ewoks?
I hate the episodes
Human
in the
cyborg
Clone Wars.
relations.
That's just him.
When it's just, I'm like, oh, Dave Filoni, what are you doing to me?
Yeah.
I love this show, but you are killing me right now.
Yes.
Stop.
Oh, it's horrible.
All right, well, my number 2 is General Holdo.
I wondered if you were gonna have her on there.
Okay.
She sucks.
Laura Dern.
Yeah,
She's bad.
First off, I don't like Laura Dern. I'm
She's
sorry,
bad.
Laura, but it's just you're not
Not
my
even
cup of
Jurassic
tea.
Park.
went-
Laura Dern?
So you got
No.
episode 8 twice?
Yeah, bro. He
Yeah.
episode 8.
Oh, bro.
Dude,
Just
we're
wait
gonna have
till
a
we
good
talk about
discussion.
episode 8.
It's gonna be good.
That's not a good precursor.
So she just comes out of nowhere, like
Yeah.
highfalutin, like
Yeah.
I'm the second in command behind General Leia and stuff like that.
Yeah.
She comes in, like takes over, makes all these really dumb decisions, and I'll get more into context of these decisions and other things later. But she
Don't
just
get
makes
me
these
started.
decisions, and she's like, I need to stay behind and fly it through. And she won't let Poe in on a freaking plan. Like, just tell him what it is. You don't have to deal with all this mutiny stuff.
That's
Yeah,
fair.
and
Like,
Poe's
come on.
like legit your best fighter, so.
Yeah, he's your best
on,
pilot.
bro.
Like,
I
Jesus,
feel
lady.
Okay, so
Yeah.
number 1 is Rose.
Number 1 is Rose.
Yeah.
Oh wait, no, hold on. Let's talk about your number 2.
Oh well,
Is
it's
it
gonna
the
be
same lady?
It's gonna be interesting. No, it's not.
Okay.
I did not hate her as much as Luke. She'd
I
be an
didn't-
honorable mention.
I didn't
Hold
either.
up,
She's
sucks.
bad, but
She's an honorable
she's
mention.
Not that bad.
My least favorite character is Anakin Skywalker.
Which one?
All of them.
What?
Every swinging
Even three?
Take it back.
soul.
Take it back.
Every dude,
Episode 3, Anakin's so good.
he was just a big whiny baby.
Episode 1 and 2, 100% agree.
And
he
3.
was misunderstood. He didn't know why the
Uh-uh.
Jedi.
He's the bad guy.
Still,
He's legitimately the bad guy. in episode
that
3.
should make you hate him.
All right,
You
let,
do
let
hate
me
him.
hear your reasons. Give us your reasons. Give your
Okay,
reasons.
episode 1, obvious.
Horrible.
The
Horrible.
child.
So you agree with me?
actor.
My bottom 2 are
Oh,
young and
oh, yeah.
okay, good.
Yeah.
Good.
Young Anakin
I agree with that. 100%.
was horrible. I attribute it to
It's
partially
working.
the acting.
It's working.
The crap that was written for him
Ugh.
was just garbage.
Horrible.
I mean, yeah, he had the moments of destroying the super battle carrier or whatever. Okay, cool. He's a good pilot. I'll give him that.
I like the pod racing.
Ugh.
I thought the pod racing was cool.
They
I'm a-
could have cut out 30 minutes of that movie for
I
me.
like the pod racing. I think that's a cool scene.
Um,
I stand by that scene.
like-
You know why I like it? Because all he had to
Sebulba?
do to act was. That's all he had to do,
No,
baby.
it was this.
He had to do. That's all he had to do, and then he had to flip some switches. That was it.
That was it.
That was awesome.
So episode 2, Anakin, why he sucked. Also, big whiny baby.
100%.
Yeah, he's
Always-
absolutely
you know-
He's
worse than that.
worse in 2 than he is in 1.
Agreed.
100% agree.
And it continues to 3 because he's like, oh, I gotta save my, like, dude.
Bro, okay, so in episode
how
2,
stupid
when
are
Obi-Wan's like, okay, we'll take him on the left, and he's like, I'll take him now, and he like runs in and goes,
you? Oh, dude.
it's like, oh, you idiot.
Yes.
Yeah.
So dumb.
Bro.
All around. Okay, the one little bit of redemption he had was the Clone Wars TV show.
He's
was
actually
awesome
he
in
was
he's actually
good.
pretty solid on that show.
And the voice actor was awesome.
Pretty good.
I did enjoy him, and that's the only moment
See, he's funny and lighthearted, and
in the TV show.
no, you're right. In the movie, he's not great.
He had some cool scenes, like with some cool fight scenes and some cool like flying scenes.
Yeah.
But as a character, he's
I do really like Hayden Christensen though. I just wish the character would have been better.
Okay.
don't even lie, bro.
Bro.
I do like
I've
Hayden
never
Christensen.
seen Hayden Christensen in anything else.
Not in Jumper?
I've
or
never
Takers.
seen Jumper nor Takers. Never heard of either of those movies.
Dude,
Jumper was awful.
Yeah.
Takers
I've
was
never heard of either
actually
of them.
pretty good.
So okay, I'm gonna slightly defend Anakin in episode 3.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
He is a torn soul. He is hurting. emotionally. No one can be expected to behave properly in those
Think of all this
conditions.
crap he's gone through.
His wife is pregnant, and
He
he's a
shouldn't have had a
Jedi,
wife in the first place.
and he
just
wants to
followed the rules.
save her from death. Have a heart. Bro.
How do you not sit there through the tale of Darth Plagueis and not call BS?
I love the tale of Darth Plagueis.
Darth Plagueis the Wise.
See, this is why I disagree with Paul on episode 3. And this is why I'm going to talk to you right now. I'm just kidding. We'll talk about that later. But I do agree.
Turn the
Episode,
GoPro.
Yeah.
Paul is not a part of this conversation anymore. Episode 1 and 2, Anakin is horrible.
I will agree. I love
Horrible.
Him. I love him in 3 though.
But I do like him in 3.
Love
I
him.
don't like him, I guess. I shouldn't say that. He is annoying. But, like, he's a great character because he, like, carries the movie. Single-handedly carries the movie. The whole movie is about him.
Even over your favorite character, Obi-Wan.
I do love Obi-Wan. And
Well, I
he
think-
is, like, center stage in that movie, but he's a
I
secondary
think their
character.
interactions are so good. Like,
Dude, whenever they say goodbye for the last time, it's like, farewell, my friend. You're like, he's never going to see him again until he's Darth Vader, bro. You're like, oh, that's so good. That's such a great movie. But Paul poops on that movie, so we'll argue about that in a minute.
Okay.
number one least favorites.
And so we got a
Yours
couple
is
minutes
Rose
to
and his
talk
is
about
Rose.
Rose.
And we all disagree. We all agree on Rose
Oh.
is bad.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
I'm
You
gonna
go
start-
ahead
I'm
and
gonna
go
start. I'm gonna
because you haven't really talked very much.
start. Okay,
That's true.
so, like
I've been yelling at Paul about it. I got excited.
It's fine. So Rose is introduced in 8. She's an engineer.
She's like an engineer,
and
yeah.
Finn's trying to escape because he's a big old baby. And
I don't like Finn.
Finn is an honorable mention for me
Finn
of
is
least
a
favorite.
low-key honorable mention.
I liked him in 7. Didn't like him in 8. All right, so there's a
You
lot
didn't
of
like anyone. In
there was
it.
a lot of characters. I was like, "You're cool in 7," and then 8 came out, and I was like, "You suck."
Yep.
But
Luke
okay, so
Skywalker?
Rose,
Luke Skywalker?
she's like
We're talking about Rose here, AJ.
Yeah,
Bro, Luke Skywalker, episode 8?
Okay, I didn't really like him in episode 8.
Okay.
We'll get to
continue this
8, and we'll
conversation
talk
later.
We'll
about
get there, bro.
it. So Rose is just like, so I get it. Star Wars is all about finding these people that are like nobodies and making them somethings. Yeah. And they tried to do that with Rose. It just did not work.
Yeah.
And like, so they throw her in there. They're like, hey, take Rose, go to this casino planet for God knows what.
For fuel, right?
Accomplish absolutely nothing besides ruining the place. And then come back, kiss her. She's going to needlessly save your life. You almost saved the day. And this chick, she
No kidding.
she ruined the movie. She stopped. Like, that could have been a victory for the Republic. That could have been or the rebels. It could have been a
And my
victory.
fourth least favorite character would have died.
Yeah,
Who's that?
Finn.
Oh.
it would have been a victory for the rebels. And then
When he was
she
about to
just,
die, I was like,
she knocked him out of the way because she's like, this guy I've spent 5 hours with.
Yeah.
I love him.
love him.
Give me a kiss.
I'm not going to defend Rose in any shape or form. So continue.
Yeah, no. So yeah, they
terrible.
tried to do the Star Wars story with her. Somebody, and they did that, and it didn't work. So, like, I have nothing against, like, I'm not one of those people that are gonna go like attack the actors. And
Yeah,
I don't blame the
It's
actress.
not her fault.
No, I just don't like the character.
She plays a likable person,
At the beginning.
Yes.
but it just falls apart.
Like,
dude.
if they would have done it like how she was nerdy and quirky at the very beginning
Yep.
and not, like, made such a big deal out of her.
Yes.
Dude.
And
she
she'd have
got
just
like
been
an hour of screen time.
No kidding.
It's like, what the heck?
Like, if she'd have been like a little, like, Wedge Antilles kind of character,
Yes.
it'd have been cool.
No doubt.
But,
No doubt.
yeah,
Well,
you
no,
gotta...
All they had to do was to save
Underrated
it.
character right
Wedge
there.
and-
Wedge. I do
After
like
she
some Wedge.
shocks him and like knocks him out, that's the end of her character. That's all they need.
Yep, 100%.
Right, yeah.
That could have been it.
Make her come back at the end battle for some reason. She could be.
They
Yeah,
didn't need
she's
to-
like in the...
She
Yeah.
could be flying something.
They didn't need to make her a love interest either.
No.
No, that was pointless. We don't need that.
No,
No, his love interest is Ray.
We all was right, and I was
bro.
I
Love
was
triangle.
I was on the boat for Ray and Finn. I was like,
Dude,
I
yeah.
love for Kylo Ray.
Ray
Come on,
Finn
baby.
this up. But no, they're like they kicked Ray to the
They're
side.
cousins, dude.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I'm still with the Ray as a Kenobi theory. I'm down for that. Come on.
Oh, I'd love that. Like,
I would love that so much.
but so all right, that's.
Now
You
we're
guys
getting
have
way
anything
off
to add
topic.
to Rose?
I just
Nah,
I
you
don't.
hit it.
You know.
Golly, that's just.
She's bad.
I get so. frustrated by episode 8. I can't wait to get there because I got
We're
freaking.
close.
I got to set the time limit pretty low on
I
that
got.
one.
Yeah.
I got feelings.
All right. Well, let's move on before
We'll
we
have a
rant.
total separate episode about episode 8.
All right. So now back to the top. Just a quick top.
Golly,
Favorite-
I'm so pissed
Luke's
off right
so
now.
mad
We got to
right
bring
now.
Luke back down.
Fan him off.
Focus.
Fan him
Focus.
I'm so hot.
Take a 5-minute break. 5-minute break.
Yeah. 1 hour later.
We're having technical difficulties. Okay, next question.
Favorite video game.
Battlefront, original Battlefront.
Ooh.
No doubt in my mind.
I have 4.
I played the
4 favorite video games?
Well,
crap
no, I
out of
did
that
my
game.
top 4.
Okay.
That's how I
I
did.
just did one.
Bruh.
You're more than welcome to go through them. Whatever.
Okay.
We're fine.
My second favorite, Battlefront 2.
Dude, original Battlefront 2
Dude.
is my favorite.
Wait, what did you say your first was? Just
Honestly,
Battlefront?
Battlefront 1 and Battlefront 2 go back and
Okay.
forth. I played the crap out of Battlefront 1. Battlefront 2 I also played a lot of,
Yeah.
but not quite as much. So for me, Battlefront 1 gets the slight edge. I do like Battlefront 2 because of the space battles
Yeah.
and because of you can play as like the Jedi
The
people.
Jedi.
Yeah.
So cool. Great game. I played the game on like the OG Xbox. That was like
Yeah.
the stuff, dude.
I remember that.
I remember
Great
going out. That was
game.
one of the few games I went out and got on a midnight release and
Great game.
played till I had to go to school the next day.
Honorable
good.
mention for me is what's it called? Commando.
Republic Commando, where
Republic
you're
Commando.
the clones.
That
Yeah.
game
That's
was
a good one.
awesome. Love that game.
Honorable mention for me, and then we'll let Luke go. Is Dark Forces?
Yeah, I was gonna say that
original.
one.
It's like your Kyle Katarn.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever played like the Jedi Outcast games.
Was that so? Was it? Was that the one where you're like where you find the IG-88 on the first level?
That's like the second game.
Okay.
The first game is where you're going through
Shadow of the Empire. That's what it was. Sorry.
Shadow of the Empire is a
You're
good
right.
one too.
That's a good game.
It's very similar.
Dark
Okay.
Forces is
It's you're kind of
you're like a bounty hunter-ish type character.
the bounty hunter games were good too. Anyway,
But
yeah, you like
that's a
fight the
great game.
Empire and you're like trying to find the super secret new Shadow Trooper. That's a good one. I played that on PC actually.
Yeah,
OG.
Oh, cool.
OG PC.
So all right.
okay, Luke, list them off.
So I'll list off I'll do these so the new Battlefront 2.
New Battlefront 2 was good.
I like
First
the
off, the
Battlefront.
graphics are incredible in
Yeah,
those,
they're
and then
good.
Yeah.
the fact that you can play as like all the the Jedi. They added Anakin, like,
and they're adding new ones all the time. Like
Well,
there's
yeah.
Clone Wars TV show, Obi-Wan now. Like it's legit.
That's
like
cool.
there's so the game started out like big controversy, a bunch of like microtransactions, all that, and so
Oh,
DICE
yeah.
went out, fixed it. Now they're just handing out stuff for like free basically, which is awesome. So they've kind of fixed the image of the game. It's a lot of fun.
And the campaign was fun for me.
Yeah, the campaign was nothing like special, but I had a great time with it.
Yeah.
And then the next one's Rogue Squadron for the Nintendo 64.
dude.
I forgot about that game.
That game was freaking hard.
I played the first level like 100 times.
I love
Dude,
that game.
That was
So
a good
good.
one.
That's a great game.
Yes.
Also, did you ever have the pod racing game?
Yep, I did.
That one was pretty cool.
That was fun. It wasn't as fun as the Rogue Squadron.
Next
game.
one is Battlefront 2, the original.
on the Xbox.
I had it for the PSP.
Oh, nice.
So I had
Dude,
portable.
yeah. I had it
Nice.
on the PSP as well.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. I
It was,
forgot about the
It
PSP.
was a lot of fun.
Good stuff.
It's incredibly simple, but just great.
I love Battle, like the whole idea of like the
Yeah.
command posts, and that's
Yeah.
that's a fun idea. It's
So
a great
my
game.
number one is Jedi Knight Fallen Order,
Oh, the new one.
the brand new one. So
Okay.
I just beat it this week.
Nice.
Dang, that game is cool. They take
Dang.
like, so it's canon. You're
Yeah.
playing as so this is post episode 3, Order 66.
Oh, yeah.
So you're playing as a Padawan whose master got killed in Order 66. So you're on the run, and you're not on the run, but you're in hiding basically. And at some
Yeah.
point you have to come out of hiding and then join these people, and you go on these missions to find this holocron that has a list of all these force sensitive kids on it. You need to find it and keep the Empire from getting their hands on it basically.
Yeah.
So you fight the Inquisitors, like the second sister, the ninth sister, and all them. And it's a good game because you can customize
Okay.
your lightsaber all the way through it, all the different pieces, like the
Yeah.
switch, the handle, the type of material. Later on, you even go hunt for a kyber crystal. So you
Oh,
do have
that's
to
cool.
go select your kyber crystal. It's super cool.
That's awesome.
It's very good game.
Might have to play that one.
So they
Yeah, I want to get it for sure.
I saw
Dude,
Aiden
do it.
playing it the other day. It looked awesome.
It looks legit.
So they take like a piece of like Star Wars like story, and then they make this all make sense in the grand scheme of things. And it's nothing like too grand, like the end of the world will do like all this.
Yeah.
But they take this part that's like very key to the survival of the Jedi, and then just I don't know, play it.
That's awesome.
I don't want to
Dude, yeah.
like
No.
spoil
No,
it.
it sounds
But
legit. Do you have it on
I
Xbox?
want to get it.
I have it on PlayStation 4.
Dang it.
Yes. That means I get to borrow it, sucker.
Yeah.
I'll have to get it.
Means you have to come over and play it.
I think
Hey,
Aiden has
it was
I'll
$50
borrow it
at
from him.
Walmart. So
I'll borrow it from Aiden. Aiden has it on Xbox.
do it.
I couldn't tell you the last time I spent $50 on a game.
I haven't bought a
honestly.
game in
Dude, this is the
ages.
first game I bought this year, like full priced.
I may have to pull
Wow.
the trigger because you're not the first person to tell me that it was legit.
Okay.
All right.
Next question.
Next. Favorite TV show, including Mandalorian, if you want to throw it in there.
Okay. So I ranked the 3 shows that I've watched/watching
Okay.
currently. My top one is, or the bottom one right now is Rebels out of the
Ooh.
3.
Okay.
So I like Rebels. It's just like,
You haven't watched it very much yet.
How far into it would you say?
I'm like
Halfway through season 1?
3/4 through season 1.
Okay.
That's about where I'm at.
Which obviously I can't give a full opinion on it yet
Yeah.
because I haven't watched it all.
You're good.
It's just where it is right now. Second one, or well, hold on, you guys say your 3.
No, you go ahead.
Okay.
I just have one.
Okay. Second one is Mandalorian,
And then
Nice.
Clone Wars.
and then
Okay, so I would agree with your list perfectly. So for me, I've seen Rebels the least. Mandalorian is not really finished with season 1 yet, so it's kind of hard to give it number 1. And then for me, Clone Wars is awesome. All 6 seasons of Clone Wars is just really, really good. And every season has like, I don't know, 20-something episodes, and
Yeah.
maybe 3 or 4 of them are like, meh. The others are all like really, really good. So
Yeah.
we talked about this earlier. We were joking earlier, but the episodes that are about the droids for me are just like, meh. Other than that, every episode is like
Or a
just
lot of like
really good.
some of the other ones that I wasn't a huge fan of was like the ones that were all revolved around like Padme
The Padme episodes.
or like the
yeah.
other senators,
the,
and I was
the
just like,
politics stuff. Yeah, I didn't like that stuff.
yeah,
as much.
like if it's the Clone Wars, I want it to be
Bro.
about the Clone Wars.
the clones or the
Jedi.
Jedi, bro. Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. And I like that show a lot because of the bad guys. I
yeah,
love the bad guys in that show.
you get way more General Grievous.
I love Grievous.
Um,
And you get a lot of the other Jedi Masters that you don't get to see very
The
often.
flesh is
Oh, yeah.
so
Get a lot-
much out.
Plo Koon, you get a lot of Kit Fisto, you get a lot of Mace
Mundi.
Windu, you get a lot of Mundi, you get a lot of people you never even seen before on TV or on
And-
the movies.
Ahsoka is one like low key one of my favorite characters.
I like
She's
Ahsoka.
awesome.
She's a great
Ahsoka's
character.
great.
She's a great character.
and she's
And-
in Rebels.
And you made a great point earlier that Anakin, this is the best version of Anakin anywhere.
Yeah.
I like it for that reason. And I like Obi-Wan in this show. He's not as good as the movies, but he's solid. He's a great character.
yeah,
I like that show a lot. Is that your number 1?
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
No,
Okay. Rebels?
Rebels is my number 1.
Wow.
After season 1,
Okay.
Okay.
season 1 is a little slow.
Little weak.
It's a little weak because it's really just building. It's just a show building season.
These are the characters. This is the world they live in.
yeah. This is where like their struggle, and then from 2, 3, and 4 are just like dope.
ramped up. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because like 2 is, and I'm sure you already know this is gonna happen because you've seen it on Instagram, whatever. Ahsoka comes in season 2. Maul comes in season.
3.
I think it is
And then
3.
Obi-Wan comes in season 4.
Well, Obi-Wan's only in one episode, but he's dope. But Ahsoka's kind of a character throughout the rest of it. There's a couple episodes with Palpatine, but like it's very similar. Kanan's character is very similar, it sounds like, to the Jedi Fallen Order character.
Yeah.
He's, his master was killed in Order 66. He escaped. Kanan also reminds me a lot of another video game, the Force Unleashed.
Yeah.
There's that other
Oh.
blind Jedi.
Yep.
Also some good games. But Rebels is, I love all the characters. It's so funny, even like as I was getting close to the end, their droid Chopper,
Chopper's a good character.
that's voiced by Dave Filoni.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he like does the
Yeah.
noises but like it's funny as it went along, I started to understand what he was saying.
Oh, really?
I was like, oh, he said did it, and they're like, oh yeah, he said did it, and I was like, yeah, that's really weird that I'm actually understanding
awesome.
a droid.
That's awesome.
But I love
So
the
why do you give it
characters.
the nod over the Clone Wars?
So
We haven't watched it yet, so we can't really talk about it.
I like it, the whole unit of like
okay.
Zeb and Kanan, Hera, Chopper, Ezra. I love them all.
It has a Firefly feel to
What's it-
me.
It has a very Firefly feel to it.
It's a fun group of kind of a weird, just random group of people that would never be together, but they are together. Yeah,
it's very much like a big Han Solo Chewbacca family.
Yeah,
to me,
no doubt.
Of a bunch of just like you said, random people. I also like the fact of that they're Jedis, but they shoot blasters.
Yeah, that's cool.
I was like, I always thought as a child, I was like, yeah, the lightsabers are cool and you can block and stuff like that, but like, wouldn't it be just easier if you just could do both?
Right.
You know,
I love Obi-Wan's line when he has the blaster and he kills
Oh
Grievous
yeah,
and he throws
so
it down.
uncivilized.
So uncivilized.
Yeah.
It's such a good line.
But yeah, I'm interested to see once you guys get more into it, because also in season 2, I don't know.
No, dude, don't do it.
Okay, I'm not gonna do it.
I'm really excited about the show.
More characters from the Clone Wars show up.
Oh, I know Rex shows up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rex shows up,
I do
and he's in it throughout.
I love Rex,
and I just like a lot more like the jokes, like because they're like always like kind of like fighting with each other.
For me, that show kind of felt more like Dave Filoni having fun. And the Clone Wars felt more like Dave Filoni like putting together like really good, cool Star Wars.
Let's tell them legit like what happened between episodes 2 and 3.
Yeah, and that to me, that's the difference I've noticed so far. Is like between episodes 2 and 3, there's so much material.
True.
And he's just like, well, this is a cool story, and this is a cool story. Let's just tell these stories.
Well, it's already a world like we're in basically. It's already like all characters we're familiar with besides Ahsoka.
And then Rebels is like, this is my thing. I can pretty much do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And he just kind of has fun with it, and he kind of makes it.
And then he just like peppers in characters you know really well.
Yeah.
Or maybe know a little bit, like Saw Gerrera shows back up.
Yeah.
And it's and I like that it's voiced by a lot of the same, like James Earl Jones does Darth Vader. Saw Gerrera is the guy who played Saw Gerrera in Rogue One. Like, and so I don't know. I just appreciated it more.
Interesting.
I don't know. I enjoyed Clone Wars very much. Clone Wars is like number 2 for me.
I think Mandalorian will be number 1 after a while for me, probably. And then Obi-Wan will probably be number 1 after that. So I'm pumped for that Obi-Wan show. Can't wait. Is that next summer or the summer after that?
I think they're still shooting it. So probably another year
2021.
or 2.
Next question.
All right. So this one is probably only me, but and if Luke wants to jump in with his favorite comic, did you guys read any of the books?
I didn't because I have weird feelings about the books.
So I haven't read many.
There's one trilogy I read, and it's post episode 6.
Okay.
It's pretty famous. I forget the name of it though.
I don't remember. The one I read is called, it's like 11 books, but it's called Jedi Apprentice.
Oh yeah.
And the very first one is where
in the library.
Obi-Wan is in like Jedi school and like gets found by Qui-Gon and says, "You're going to be my apprentice."
That's cool.
And it's like their whole story, and then it gets into Anakin and Obi-Wan a little bit. And so it kind of, I was reading them as like the 1, 2, and 3 movies were going on. So
interesting.
Those are my favorite. I've read others, but those were the ones that were.
There was a book series I read in elementary school, I think, that were in the school library. I forget the name of them, but they were awesome. And it was similar to that. It was the prequel setting.
I started to read, and I've got it on my iPad. I started to read the book. There's a book about Darth Plagueis.
Oh yeah.
It's just called Plagueis.
Yeah, and it actually isn't terrible. It's a hard read though.
Really?
I own like 4 or 5 Star Wars books and just have never read them.
Yes, but it's also like very verbose.
Okay.
Like it's like, aren't these supposed to be like semi like 10-year-old kid books? Not like you write Googling and pulling from a thesaurus to write this book.
What is a midichlorian?
Midichlorians, bro.
Midichlorians, bro.
That's actually a pretty good question we can ask.
Yeah. Luke, do you have a favorite comic?
I do. So my favorite comics is I've read the ones where they take the original idea of Star Wars, like the original like idea of the characters and stuff, and then put it in a comic form. So I've read those. Those are interesting.
Huh.
Okay.
But my favorite ones are the Darth Vader ones, which are currently running right now. Those are good. So I like them because for me, Darth Vader's a character that everyone loves. Everyone's like, oh, Darth Vader's like one of the greatest Star Wars characters. But we still don't know like that much of what's happened or what goes on, what's this, what that.
I think,
and that's what
is it between 3 and 4?
Yes. So this is him.
The 2 most interesting like things that have not been explained very much at all are the 2 areas that the TV shows have taken place, between 2 and 3 and between 3 and 4.
Yeah.
And to me, Darth Vader between 3 and 4, like that 20-year gap right there, is so could be so interesting.
Yeah.
I think there could be anything, but comic book sounds super
we
cool.
we just don't know that much about. I mean, we know it's Anakin, we know this, we know that, but we just don't know about what's Darth Vader
Why
doing.
is Darth Vader
all these
so
years.
badass?
Well,
Yeah.
in episode 4, we hear Obi-Wan talk about how he goes and Darth Vader hunts down the Jedi that weren't killed in Order 66.
Well, that's basically
that
what
would
he
be really
does in
cool.
the comics. He hunts down Jedi, and then he has his group of Inquisitors that also hunt down the Jedi.
Yeah.
And so the comics do a great job of being Darth Vader's like super bad A.
Yeah.
They do a whole sequence where he's building his temple on Mustafar.
Yeah.
And they do a whole line of those, and there's this cool story where there's this helmet of this old Jedi, Sith Jedi, which was corrupt for a Sith Jedi. They're you don't want to mess with that guy. He's he's a bad dude. And there's his spirit's tied to the helmet and tempts people and stuff like that. And he takes the helmet with him, and there's this big Sith thing that goes on, and it's
cool.
very good. But no, it's just nice to have a character that we see all the time. Everyone's Darth Vader, we see him everywhere. He's one of the most recognizable people on in pop culture, and we just still don't know that much.
You know, another character that I know is more in the books that honestly should have been on it's an honorable mention of least favorite is Boba Fett. Everybody says he's so cool, but in the movies he does squat.
So lame, though. I never understood that, why he was so glorified in pop culture.
Some of the reasons I've heard are probably similar to what Luke says, because I love Darth Vader also, but we don't see it in the movies. So yeah, I would assume there's a lot of books and comics and other things that make Boba Fett like that seem very awesome.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of which kind of sucks, but I think that's what you got to do as a Star Wars fan. Is you have to dive into these extra elements to really get to understand appreciate the characters like Boba Fett, because I'm sure he is super cool.
Right.
It's just, from the mainstream Star Wars, you don't see that.
No, I liked Django more than Boba.
Yeah,
I love Jango Fett. He was a great character.
I like to think that we don't fully dive into the excess Star Wars stuff like the comics, the books, and all that.
Yeah.
But I think we do a good job of doing that. And it's just even at that level, you don't see it that much.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. There's tons of characters like that.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, that was the end of my top and least favorites. Anybody else have any other ones they want to quickly touch on before we get into the controversy?
Are we going to talk about lightsaber colors?
You want to do that first?
Yellow.
Let's do lightsaber colors.
Oh, dang, girl.
Yellow.
Okay.
Yellow.
Plo Koon, baby. Come on.
Plo Koon.
So-
Early Mace Windu.
Yeah.
His episode 1 lightsaber that we never saw apparently was yellow. Before he
Secondary
got
would be
perk.
blue. Obi-Wan style.
Okay.
Nice.
Luke?
So I took a Star Wars what's your kyber crystal color quiz earlier,
Nice.
and it gave me purple. So that's the one it gave me.
Samuel Jackson.
But my favorite
Paul's
one,
purple too, by the way.
my favorite
Are you not?
is
Really?
Go ahead. That's an honorable mention for me.
the one I would pick is yellow.
Bro,
Wow.
yellow. Let's go.
So-
You guys are trying to be different. I'm trying to be different too.
You going green?
So my second favorite, would be purple for sure. And red.
You pick red.
But I
Oh.
I would try to do the Luke episode 6 kind of thing of half and half. But I just think red's
You should get a
legit
double
color.
double
Bruh.
lightsaber and half be blue,
Every-
half be red.
Every time a red
Dude, that'd be
lightsaber
dope.
is lit in the dark,
Dude,
it
yeah.
is so cool.
Because that's the other thing too,
So
is
cool.
who said red is the color of only the Sith?
It's
Every movie.
Well,
kind of just like
why
the
is
unsaid
it? Does
rule,
it
you
have to
know?
be red? You know?
It's in every movie.
because because the kyber crystal
I don't
picks
know.
them. It's the one that calls to them, and so red must call to the people
I
of
do-
the dark
I
side.
do-
Okay, Luke. Thanks for dumping on my life.
Sorry.
I do like I like the old school true blue, man. I'm a
Dude,
fan.
blue is good.
I'm a
Blue's good.
fan.
Some Obi-Wan.
Obi-Wan, bro. I can't fight it.
I mean,
some episode 1. Yeah,
Bro, when Obi-Wan and Anakin are fighting and they're both blue.
it gets me
go.
freaking jazzed.
right.
Yeah, yellow for sure, though. Plo Koon. And that's one of the reasons I like the
Yes.
Clone Wars.
Dude, he
his
has
yellow,
some
is
good
his lightsaber
moments.
yellow in the Clone Wars? It's blue.
so
It's blue sometimes and yellow sometimes.
yeah, and that was another thing too, because I was again super nerd. I loved weapons just in general.
Yeah.
So yeah, early Plo Koon's lightsaber is blue. Like episode 1,
Yeah.
early and
Yeah.
but it gets damaged. If I remember right, in Clone Wars, the blue one gets destroyed and he goes yellow.
Okay. But
That's
in
so
the
cool.
Clone Wars TV show, is it blue or yellow?
Both.
It
Yeah.
changes.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. In the show, he has the blue one.
Okay.
And then I'm pretty
In
sure.
Attack of the Clones, the movie, it's blue. I'm 99% sure.
I think you're right.
And then the TV show, it's both.
I think you're right there.
But we all knew it was yellow for some whatever reason before the Clone Wars. Like, it was already out there that it was yellow.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I may have been the one that told you this because I used to get like, you know, those like books you'd get like as a kid that were the
Yeah.
like big images and like little stories and like
Yeah.
they were like this freaking big, but they were like in there it had like everybody's lightsaber color and his was yellow.
Yeah.
But I also had a game that I can't remember what it was
I know what
that
you're
you
talking about.
played as him for a couple levels or you could be him and it was yellow.
Yeah.
So dope.
Dang it. I don't remember, but
I like yellow, bro. Yellow's so
Dude,
cool.
so
Yellow's a cool
In the
lightsaber.
I would
Jedi
take
Fallen
any
Order
color.
game, at one point in the game, you can change your color lightsaber to any color, like the Jedi, like allowed Jedi or whatever. And
chose
so
yellow?
I'd sit there and I'd change it. I'm like, which one looks the coolest? And so I'd go like fight a little bit with this color. I was like, nah. And then late yellow came up. I was like, whoo, this is
Nice.
legit.
I have there's a small place in my heart for green. Green is solid.
See, that's what.
Qui-Gon, man.
Qui-Gon and Luke,
Yoda.
those two, and Yoda. Yeah,
So as nerdy
strong.
as this sounds,
Strong.
on my Christmas list this year is a replica of Luke Skywalker's
The
green
FX?
lightsaber. Yeah, the FX
FX lightsaber?
lightsaber.
Dude.
I like
And-
the FX lightsabers. They're tight.
Yeah,
They were. I probably will end up getting another one.
Didn't you have Darth Maul for a while?
I do. I have
You
half.
still have
I
it?
have half of Darth Maul's.
Oh, you never got the
I
other
never
half.
got the other half.
It's $200, bro. Come on.
Well, I know, but still.
Gotta have.
I'll
the
get
other
it
half.
at some point. I also have a custom lightsaber. I got it from
nice.
one of those
Oh.
custom like lightsaber shops.
Oh
Where
yeah.
they make the handles and all that. I have one from one of those.
Aren't those super expensive?
So I got one of the cheaper ones. It's like
Okay.
$70.
Nice.
Okay.
So
It's-
how many do you have? 3?
I have
4?
2 lightsabers.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
Well, then
I-
a bunch of like the
We used to
plastic
fight
ones.
with them all the time,
Dude,
Like
I-
legitimately.
Oh, yeah.
multiple times a week.
so
We
I
used to sit in
follow
the backyard and fight with them.
on Instagram the guy who I can't remember his stinking name that played Darth Maul. And
Yeah,
he
Ray
like,
Park.
Yes, and he trains like he has ones that like are legit. Like you're able to like fight with them
Whack
and not
with them.
damage
Yeah.
them. And he like trains with them. And he like did a link or whatever. And it's their custom and everything, but those things are like $500.
You can,
I was like,
you can get those
"Dang."
pretty like they get high end.
But like his
should start
legit,
a-
like he can whack something and it's gonna stay.
We should start a LARPing group.
Starping.
Jedis of Oklahoma.
I probably won't ever go that far, but
Well, no,
that would
that's
be
just
dope.
the 501st Legion is all that is.
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
If I were, 13-year-old me would have totally gone for that.
that's awesome. All right, we got the
Okay.
easy question out of the
No
way.
doubt. Now
Let's
we got to
get to
get
the meat.
Ugh, we're
Okay.
hour 15 in.
We're good, guys. We got it. All right, I'm going to limit this to what do we want to do?
10.
20 minutes? 10?
15.
I don't know.
Ooh, okay.
15's enough.
All right, how
'Cause
about
we don't want to talk more than that.
10 for each? Because our
Okay,
question
deal.
now is episode 3 good or bad, and is episode 8 good or bad? We will allow 10 minutes of general discussion.
Okay, so
No fist fighting. We want a clean fight. No,
so
no
Luke-
biting,
so
kicking.
for the people at home, Luke and I are pro episode 3.
Yep, I wrote that in big bold letters. Good.
Paul-
Episode 3.
Paul
good.
is anti episode 3.
Preach.
I am
All right, here goes the 10 minutes for episode 3.
probably the most pro episode 8. I don't know how you feel about episode 8.
And we're talking about 3. We'll get to 8 in a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
hold on.
Okay.
We're going 3.
Episode 3.
Before I get pissed again.
I speak for I speak for Luke and I when I say episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie
Yes.
to date.
Yeah.
Episode 9, we don't know about episode 9 yet, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say I think episode 3 is probably still going to be better than episode 9.
Episode 3 is my favorite.
Episode 3 is the best Star Wars movie to date because, for me,
Okay.
you get Obi-Wan and Anakin versus Dooku. You get Obi-Wan versus Grievous. You get Mace for the first time, really, versus Grievous.
The
Or not Grievous, sorry,
the
Sidious.
Jedi Council that gets
Kit
slaughtered.
Fisto gets like one hit
Yeah.
in there. And you get Yoda versus Palpatine, which is a dope fight. And then you get the greatest fight scene in any movie ever. Anakin versus Obi-Wan. 15 minutes of pure just like nonstop.
I watch that fight every day of my
I
life.
literally could too, bro. It's so good. Okay, so for those 5 reasons,
What does Anakin yell whenever, like, at Padme, whenever Obi-Wan's stepping off the plane? He's like
I
standing
hate
there
you.
like a Superman. It's like, you brought him here.
you brought him here to kill me.
I get
The big whiny baby.
Anakin, no.
I watched that in Walmart, like on the TVs when they're playing. Like whenever I was a kid, like I hadn't seen the movie yet, and I watched that I never saw it in theater. My parents were like, "It's PG-13."
You turned her against me. You have done that yourself. Like, oh, bro, get him. Get him. Oh, it's so good.
I get some
that
juice.
dialogue for like 20 minutes is just so good.
You guys might call it cheesy, but it's great.
Oh, it's not cheesy at all. At all. It's just fire all the way. Okay. I will go out on a limb and say that 3 of those fights are the best 3 fights in any Star Wars movie ever.
Which 3? Okay, the last one.
Yoda, Mace, and the last one.
Mace versus Palpatine is one of the best lightsaber fights.
I love that fight. I think it's a great fight.
I'm with Paul on this one.
No.
I like Obi-Wan and Grievous a lot. I think that fight's pretty cool.
No.
I do like Yoda versus Dooku in Episode 2 a lot. I like Darth Maul, obviously, in Episode 1 a lot. The Episode 7 and Episode 8 fights they've been okay. They're not great. But
Episode 8 fight sucked.
to me, the top 2 fights of all time, no doubt in my mind, are Yoda and Palpatine, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin. Agree or disagree?
Disagree.
Obi-Wan and Anakin's my top
Anakin
one.
and Obi-Wan is
number 1.
good. It's not number 1
Darth
for me.
Maul, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan's good too.
That's number 1 for you?
That's number 1 for me.
No chance, bro.
That one's my number 2. That one's really good.
Okay, so anyway, that's one of the reasons I like number 3. One of the other reasons I like number 3 is because of all of the beautifully done nods to the original trilogy. Okay? You get Palpatine, who becomes Emperor Palpatine in this movie. You meet Chewbacca in this movie. R2-D2 and C-3PO are left with Antilles in this movie.
No, you do.
Oh, at the end, right?
No, he's on Kashyyyk, the Battle of
You meet him
Kashyyyk.
in Kashyyyk.
Him and Yoda.
Well, yeah,
He's friends
he's
with
one of the
Yoda?
people that walks Yoda to the ship.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
see him for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
But he's in the
To
movie.
his point,
Yeah.
he's in the movie.
Yeah.
Did they set him up? Come
I'll
on.
give him that.
Yoda says he's going to live in exile at the end of this movie, which we don't see him again until Episode 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Obi-Wan takes baby Luke to Tatooine, where he sees the 2 suns in the sky. That's the final shot of the movie. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Leia is taken to what's the planet
Alderaan.
called? Alderaan, with her family.
What's her stepdad's name or
Bail Organa.
Bail.
Bail Organa? That's right. Organa.
Padme, while she's dying, her last words are, "There is good in him. I can feel it. I know there's good in him."
Why'd she die?
That's
Because there's too much
There.
stress put on by
died of
Anakin.
heartbreak, bro.
He
I
force
win.
choked her.
She died of a broken heart.
Sorry. Continue.
Okay, I will admit that is kind of a lame reason.
It is a weak reason, but whatever. She had to die.
All right, you're at 4.5 minutes. You better either. Are you going to filibuster your own meeting here?
Episode 3 is raw, pure emotion for 2.5 hours, and it's awesome. Luke, support.
I like it because of I like the choreography and the fights. I think the choreography is pretty good.
So good.
It's
Oh,
also
yeah.
peak Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, so good.
It's semi-peak Anakin.
Peak Anakin.
Besides
Besides Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
100%.
TV show, not episode 2.
Yep.
Yeah, it's peak. So you have a couple peak characters, and then you're getting a lot of different villains in there. So yeah, like we said, Grievous,
Peak Palpatine for me.
Dooku, Palpatine. So you're getting a lot of the big dark like Sith people. So that's great. The end fight is what kind of ties it all, puts a bow on it for me. It's like it's just
So good.
and
He
I-
takes the lightsaber, which he gives to Luke in Episode 4. So good.
yeah.
He says, "You're the chosen one." Ugh. He says he's more man. He says he's more machine than man.
Yeah.
Right. Episode 4. Bro, he's on fire. His skin's all messed up.
I really like Obi-Wan and Anakin's like their back and forths they have. I like how Anakin's kind of or Obi-Wan's kind of like the father figure, like trying to keep him in line a little bit. Like Obi-Wan like understands what he's saying, but he's like, no, it's got to be this way,
bro.
You can't.
Anakin kills the younglings in this movie.
The younglings.
Tears. Mace Windu dies in this movie. Tears.
Anakin,
You cried when the younglings died?
Okay, bro. When I was like 10 years old and this movie came out, I cried like 7 times.
Master Skywalker, what are we going to do?
No doubt. I cried at
you.
that. I cried at that scene.
Because that kid was 10 years old.
I cried when Yoda's like dropped the staff and he's like, oh, bro. And all the other masters are dying. Come on. Plo Koon gets shot down. Mundi gets shot.
I think it's the amount of action
rough.
this has in it. This is one of the more action-packed Star
The
Wars
opening
movies.
scene is dope. That space battle.
I
is
do
awesome.
really like that.
I will give it up for that.
That space battle.
was
That is the
legit.
coolest intro to a Star Wars movie to date.
Mm-hmm.
I'll
That
give it up
opening
to
10,
that.
15 minutes is so good.
So I will take
Except for Anakin's.
something I do hate about
I like
all
Anakin.
the prequels is that all the clones are CGI.
Huh?
Most of them are CGI.
Not all CGI.
Commander Cody was CGI?
No.
No, like
The background.
a lot of
clones.
the time, like
Oh.
a lot,
got
like
it.
especially the ones on Kashyyyk, like
the background clones. Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, like
All the clones who are like walking in the shot are like legit.
Oh, yeah, like the whole battle in Kashyyyk and everything. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
all CGI. Yeah,
Bro,
okay, I get your
It
point.
looks great though. Come on.
it looks okay.
It looks like CGI.
Yeah,
It looks good though for 2000
yeah,
whatever.
But no, 3 is my favorite probably because like these are very just surface level reasons, but the action
Okay.
and
Bring it.
the fights, the characters, there's a lot.
Bring it.
Okay, I will give it up for the beginning scene
And the end.
the fight scene, and the end battle is pretty good.
It's pretty dope.
with some exceptions. The whole thing, yes, it was gut wrenching for Obi-Wan. You are my brother. Like, yes,
Bro,
that-
heartbreaking.
but like, come on, man. Like, he is the evil Sith. Just kick him
he
into
has
the
raised
lava.
him since he was a child.
Didn't have the stomach.
His master died, and his last words were, "You will train Anakin. You were
like
the
a brother
chosen
to
one.
him.
You are my brother."
Would you kick your brother into the lava?
Maybe.
He left him for dead, bro.
Anyway,
He didn't know he was gonna make it.
Okay, that was iffy for me. They set up General Grievous to be this super
Yeah,
dope,
you're right.
amazing.
No, you're totally right.
Oh, General
You're
Grievous,
totally right.
you're shorter than that. Was a funny
The
joke.
biggest weakness in this movie, in my opinion, is General Grievous. I like General Grievous, but he is like,
That fight was poopy.
I like the fight with him
Like,
where he pulls up the 4 lightsabers. And
okay, that one little
That's
helicopter scene was cool,
that's cool.
but
Well, then they ride the motorbikes throughout the city.
like,
for,
yeah,
I like that.
half of
5
the
minutes.
battle is no lightsaber.
It's a chase scene.
It's just a dumb chase scene, and then he kills him with a blaster.
Which
I
is
mean,
cool.
come on, no, it's dumb.
You can't have Obi-Wan using lightsabers to kill Grievous. He's about to have the most epic lightsaber duel ever. Can't wear his lightsaber out.
Yeah,
Okay,
I do agree with that. That's, in my opinion, that's the weakest part of Episode 3.
the
is Grievous.
Emperor somehow is hella fast and can kill
Bro.
Makes
3
weird noises.
Jedi
He is
Masters in 2 seconds.
He's the most
flat.
powerful being in the universe.
that's probably my least favorite scene in the whole thing is like whenever the Jedi Council shows
I
up and
loved
he
it.
just like wrecks them
He
all. I'm
just
like,
wrecks
"You're
them."
Jedi Masters.
I
come on."
loved him.
They
Loved
could
him.
have made it work better.
They
other
should
than
have
him
had.
just,
Well, they
like-
didn't have to have the whole council go like
They should have just had Mace go
because they
by
would have
himself.
if they were all like legit
Well,
masters, which they were, but like if they treated them like legit
Okay,
Jedi
2 of them we
masters,
never
they
heard of
would've wrecked-
before.
They would have wrecked Palpatine.
2 of them we never heard
Right.
of before.
Yeah,
They're 2 nobodies.
They brought too many people, and then that like kind of ruined it. So they had to make like, oh no, they hit me.
and
I'm
then
like-
Kit Fisto was like, meh.
he got one hit in, and then it was done.
Bro, it's Darth Sidious. He's like the most powerful person in the universe.
We've never seen him pull out a lightsaber until that moment, and he just chops 2 dudes in half. Like, no,
Legit,
wrecks
bro.
him.
He's legit.
no. And then Padme,
Okay, I agree with that part too.
she also like hormones, pregnant. I'll give that, but like, you are living in sin, Jedi sin, and like you expect everything to be hunky dory,
Yeah.
and then you die dumbly.
Yeah.
Like,
I feel that. Padme in episode 3 is weak sauce. I agree. I agree. 100%.
And then, of course, the cake, icing on top, and then I'm done, is dumb ol' Anakin.
Ugh.
Just, like, from the first moments, he's like, he shoots half of Obi-Wan's wing off.
It worked, kind of.
To save Obi-Wan.
It kind of worked.
It did not kind of work.
He shot at 1 or 2 buzz droids.
R2-D2 almost died because of that.
He killed a buzz droid, too.
Almost died. And
He
then,
saved-
he just
saved
falls
Obi-Wan's-
in
he saved
ploy
Obi-Wan's
for ploy of the into the Emperor's web. I will give the Emperor that. He is very manipulative.
When he killed Dooku, he was like, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. That was awesome.
If you say you're a true Jedi,
He is a true
he
Jedi.
wouldn't have killed Dooku.
He already killed the Sand People. Episode 2. Come on.
He's not a true Jedi.
He's an emotional being.
Well, I think
he was trained too old, bro.
I was about to say. I was bringing that.
Oh
up.
my
He was-
God.
He was.
He is already. He could already. He was.
That's
too
what
old.
I'm saying. He
He's got
shouldn't have
daddy
even been-
issues, bro. He doesn't have a dad. Come on.
Well, that's fair.
Well, then that's on Qui-Gon then for being like we.
That is on Qui-Gon. Qui-Gon's got to have some responsibility, too. I feel that.
The Emperor was his dad too, you know.
I know it was, and the Emperor, man, like
He
manipulated
somehow
him.
force planted his seed.
Okay, so is Darth Sidious, when he tells the story about Darth Plagueis, like talking about himself?
No. He was Darth Plagueis' apprentice. Yes.
That's how I thought.
Yes.
Yeah, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. That's canon.
Yeah.
Legit.
He's reading the book.
Legit.
Yeah.
I love episode 3, and you're never going to convince me it's not that good. I do agree.
I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to stand my point.
The two biggest weaknesses are for sure Grievous and Padme. 100% agree.
Yeah.
There you go.
I mean, there
Okay.
are weaknesses throughout
But there's
it,
so much
I
good,
love
bro.
it.
There's so much good.
Here is my one maybe redeeming factor. It is the one that I've seen the most in theaters. It was episode 3.
Does it not set up the original trilogy like beautifully?
It does.
In a lot of ways.
I will give it that.
That's my favorite part of it, honestly. Is
All right.
is that. Okay, episode 8.
Time. Even though we went 2 minutes over.
Luke, you do only have a certain amount of time to present
Hold on.
a
We
few
will-
negative arguments.
I will give you the 5 minutes that AJ took for episode 8. Or for episode 3.
Where do you stand?
Okay.
In the middle?
This movie is meh. It has some very bad points, but I think it has some very cool
Right.
points.
I agree with.
I'm gonna run through my
Start.
stuff. So I wrote episode 8. Big words.
Oh my
bad.
God.
Bad.
Yes.
So let me.
Drop the
This
mic.
is my least favorite movie of all time.
Of all time?
Of all time.
Yes.
I hate this movie.
Dude.
I hate
You're
it.
such a troll.
I turned it on one day and I'm like, all right, I'll give it a shot. Let me watch it. I turned it off like after the first 10 minutes. I was like, I can't watch it. I can't watch it.
It's not that bad.
So let me first point. So this movie did away with everything J.J. Abrams set up in episode 7.
Agree.
So the big lightsaber scene where Rey's like, here's your lightsaber, throws it over his shoulder. What is that?
Agree.
What is that?
That was
Totally
stupid.
That was for comedic relief.
Totally agree.
Or like I know he's a grumpy old guy who doesn't want anything to do with the Force or Jedis anymore. But
Crotchety old Luke, bro.
I did hate that, but I have a point or a reason. So you'll probably disagree with it, but go ahead.
he could have just like handed it back. He's like, no, I don't. This isn't my life anymore, or something.
Or
like
not
that.
accepted
this
it.
That's my past.
That is true. He didn't have to like chuck
There's
it.
better ways to do it.
Okay,
agree.
I'll agree.
So they set up the rebels base. He's like, all right, we got this base. This is where people live. First 5 minutes of the movie blows it up. Boom.
Okay, I'm following you so far. Yeah.
Wait. What?
So the base where they all hang out, like where the base on what planet is it?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
First 5
I
minutes they
remember
blow
now.
that up.
It's also the least one I've seen the least amount of times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next one is Snoke. They set up Snoke to be this like
I love Snoke.
dude. They're like, guess what? Here's Snoke.
I love
You want to
Snoke.
learn anything about him? Nope, he's cut in half.
I love Snoke.
I agree with this.
Yeah,
I
that
love
was
Snoke.
stupid.
I'll defend that one later.
That one was dumb. So here's the point. I'll defend episode 8 a little bit. And this one point. So everyone's like, fuel's never been a thing in Star Wars.
Okay, so this is
But
my
hold on.
critique with this movie.
In Rebels, episode 6.
Yeah,
Or whatever,
it's a
they
big
talk
thing.
about fuel.
Yeah,
That's like, so it's never
Right.
a major issue like this, but it is part of Star Wars.
Okay, so
yeah.
literally,
There's a lot of Rebels episodes where they're having
there's
fuel issues.
1
Yeah.
hour of the movie the ship is like this,
Yes. Oh, hold on.
and the
I'll
ship is
get there.
chasing them, and you're like,
I'll get there. So that's literally my next point.
literally,
I said,
that was the one thing I was like, this is so dumb.
slow chase is boring. Like that's why
Horrible.
this is
Horrible
This
writing.
is a movie they stretched into 2.5 hours.
Horrible writing.
That should have been could have been like 30 to 15 minutes of just a different
We're
movie.
just far enough out of range to where they can't destroy
Oh
us
my
completely.
gosh, that was so dumb. And they just start shooting
Back
every
up a
once
little
in a
bit.
while to keep them like. Oh, that pisses me off.
It literally was like Pirates of the Caribbean, where they're just far enough away where you can't hit them with the cannons. And I was like,
How do
what
you-
are we living in, like the 1500s?
So, this is a Star Wars movie. Things are like
Ridiculous.
the
Fast,
actions
yeah.
like that. No, that's
Horrible.
okay. So
I
Ryan
agree with
Johnson,
that.
his whole thing is like taking risks, and like I watched the interview and that's where like, so you take risks a lot, and he's like, yes, I do. So that's where I'm getting that from.
He took risks.
He took some risks and they sucked. Like,
He
all right, so
swung and whiffed several times.
I acknowledge him. I'm like, hey, cool. You're taking risks. You're doing stuff different in cinema that not everyone does. Like, that's cool. But man, don't mess with my Star Wars like this.
Okay, anything else?
Oh no, I have a whole lot
He's
more. Hold
got
on.
more.
Lord.
You're at 3.5 minutes.
So okay, so we talked about this earlier. So short. Rose is pointless.
Bruh.
Agree, totally
Don't
agree.
need to anything more about it.
Totally
Listen
agree.
to early, like 20 minutes earlier on podcast.
Totally
Yeah.
agree. Way more
Figure
than
out
20
why.
minutes ago.
Casino Planet.
Sucked.
Pointless.
Sucked. Totally sucked.
So they go there to find this person
Yep.
Yeah.
so they can.
Benicio del Toro.
Who
yeah.
does nothing.
Well, it wasn't even Benicio del Toro. It was supposed to be this,
It's a
this other
different
guy.
person.
And then they,
I forgot about that. They
and
went for they were a different
per
person.
chance they run into the Benicio del Toro's
Oh.
character.
I forgot about that.
yeah.
They went for a
And
different
then-
person.
Yeah. So they get him to come along.
I forgot about that. That's
They get
terrible.
him to come along. Then they have this subplot where they're like, we have to save these horses. And so they save the horses.
Terrible.
Stupid.
Another Rose thing.
Terrible.
Stupid.
Terrible.
So they get Benicio del Toro, take him there. He breaks them into the dreadnought.
Ugh,
They get inside the dreadnought, all this. He betrays them. Like, what did this do?
terrible.
Nothing. All this other stuff was going to happen anyways. That was basically junk. Like, they
Yeah.
were still going to blow up the dreadnought because Laura Dern's character was going to fly through it.
No doubt.
Right.
They was like,
That
it was
whole...
just put them in a bad situation. It was all it did.
No doubt.
Well, okay. The point for that, and we hate it, is to make
Finn fight Phasma.
Finn and
Barf.
Rose fall in love.
Yeah,
that was
that-
literally
that's it.
the point
Barf.
for that,
That was
which was
stupid.
How pointless of a
Stupid.
character is Phasma?
Ugh.
Ugh.
So
That's another big disappointment.
hold on, I'll get there.
She should have been on my least favorite character list. She's
That's-
terrible.
yeah.
Luke
Terrible.
Skywalker wasn't great.
I liked Luke.
So
in this
a
movie.
lot of
yeah,
the
I'll defend Luke.
I like Luke in this
a lot of
movie.
the character decisions with this, like, all right, so this is nitpicky, but the blue milk scene or the green
That
milk,
was dumb.
that was stupid.
I agree with that.
That was
The
dumb.
whole scene where she's just following him around when he ignores him did
yeah.
not need to be 15 minutes long. All
I
it was.
agree
It
with
could have
that
been
too.
like,
Yeah.
5.
because
less.
he was like that in the anyways.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
They didn't need to do that.
I agree.
That was dumb.
So it's not more as like I get like I would have loved it more if like she showed up, like he's there and like he's started like a little Jedi camp. Like he's training these people to be Jedi. He's like, I couldn't tell anybody where I was because then, they'd come find me, kill the Padawans, they'd do this. And so he'd created like a little mini army of like Jedi. Like he's sitting there been training and stuff. I would have preferred that a whole lot more. And the end fight is him not showing up by himself, even though the end part was cool where he shows up and takes on them all by himself. It would have been cool if he showed up and he had like 6 other like Jedi Padawans with him or Jedi Knights, whatever they were at that point. And they took on the First Order like that and like just obliterated them as Jedi. I would have liked that. So I thought the treatment of his character was weird. I think they made him a whiny, sour old man. He was kind of like Anakin in Episode 3 to me, I guess, a little bit. I don't know. I have such high expectations of Luke Skywalker that I think this
Yeah.
offended me a little bit. But we'll move on. I'll let you guys defend it. We'll talk about that more.
Okay.
No, I'm not 100% defend. I'm only going to defend Luke.
So
Yeah.
episode 8 for me is.
Well, hold on.
Oh, you got more?
Hold on.
Oh,
I'm not close.
not even close.
I said
close.
choreography and fight scenes were bad. So everyone
Well,
talks about
yeah.
the throne room fight with Rey and all that.
Yep.
And Kylo. Everyone's
Yep.
like, oh, like sure, it was
No.
it was beautiful. Like
It
the
looked
colors
good.
and all that. But then if you watch the choreography closely, there's a lot of misses. There's one
Yes.
point, 3 guys come at her, she blocks them with the lightsaber, kicks the one in the middle, and they all 3 fly back. What is that?
There's one that Kylo like stabs himself.
There's another one where one of the Red Guard has a clear like shot to kill Rey.
Oh yeah.
And at the last second, he swerves over his head. Or over her head. Just to miss her.
It was poor.
The choreography was poor in the movie. Yeah, next one is Who the Heck is Snoke? We never figured that out.
I like Snoke.
Phasma's pointless.
Phasma
Episode
sucks.
7, she's supposed to be this like bad A, like leader of the stormtroopers.
Yeah, Phasma sucks.
First one, she does absolutely nothing. They put her in a trash compactor.
Jeez.
Second one, she shows up, fights Finn for a little bit, dies. Or falls into the exploding dreadnought.
She is the Boba Fett of the sequels.
Yes,
So
she's
true.
supposed to be this thing.
So true.
I
but
bet
she's
you if
not.
there are some books, she's probably
Super,
amazing.
Super
Yeah.
cool. Anything else?
Hold on.
Oh snap! He's gonna take 10 minutes. Here we go.
So this is another one at the beginning where they're bombing the first dreadnought.
I like that scene.
Okay, so I hate it. I like Finn taking it on. I thought that was
yeah.
really cool. But
That
whenever
was-
the bomber and then Rose's sister and stuff,
That was dumb.
there was a lot of like her dropping a thing. Then they open the doors and there's still gravity inside of there. And I'm
Yeah.
like, what's going? You just open up to space.
Yeah.
And also, how are these bombs just falling in space?
Yeah.
These are physical. They're not lasers. These are physical objects that are. It made
Yeah,
no sense.
I could, but
No,
I'm not
you're-
gonna defend that.
You're totally right. I
Um,
thought it was a really cool scene and a really cool idea, and then I was like,
There was a
Holy
lot
crap,
of
there's
things
no
that
gravity.
looked visually cool in this. They just didn't work.
yeah.
Yeah, like no bomber up until this point has dropped something. The TIE bombers,
Yeah.
okay, they do, but
like
they
on the surf.
shoot proton torpedo bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't drop them.
Makes more sense. Next one. Poe's dumb.
Yeah,
Poe's stupid. So he's sitting there like I think he has a legit reason. Like tell him he's a high up in the rebel military. He's like high ranking and like he has these people that just won't tell him stuff. He's like, just tell me and I won't sit here and be committing mutiny. Like tell me the grand scheme of things because freaking Holdo and Leia are sitting there scheming and they're like, at the end she's like, I kind of like him. I'm like, well, tell him the plan. Don't say you're just to prove a point. So you spent the last, I don't know how many hours you were just sitting there getting chased by this dreadnought to just sit here so you
easily
can
caught up.
so you can prove a point.
Yeah.
It makes no sense. And
Is he
lastly,
gonna touch on the last thing, the one that's everybody hates? Go ahead.
we'll see. Lastly, what does this movie accomplish? Absolutely nothing. So
Shrinks the rebellion.
all it is a shrinking of the rebellion.
You're right.
That's it. So at the beginning, they destroy the rebel base. At the end, they killed a few rebels, and the rebels escape.
So
Kylo's still alive.
you're right.
Um,
Snoke's dead though.
Huck's still alive. Snoke was nobody anyways.
Huh.
The rebels
I-
didn't know who Snoke was.
I think
I feel like Rey got some knowledge.
She
I
did, but do
think
you think
that's
she
some-
got enough?
Ray changed.
Probably not. Well, that's why
I think,
she got the books.
I think Ray changed enough in this movie for that to justify
Well,
the movie.
like we said earlier, Rey's
Not the
been
whole movie.
Rey's been consistently a good character.
yeah.
she's solid.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Luke disappearing?
I was fine with it.
I was cool with it because Ryan Johnson on Instagram, everyone's like, "What's the deal with that?" And he literally pulled up like the Book of Jedi, and it's in there as what Force Power. He took pictures of it. I own that book too, the Book of Jedi. I looked, I was like, "Huh, that's true."
Well, it's fine.
So I mean, I would have preferred if he didn't die, just because like,
I don't think he's dead.
I don't think he's dead either.
I think he's gonna force ghost.
well, he's gonna Force Ghost, yeah, but like a physical Luke, I would have preferred.
Oh, okay.
Like, I would like to still see like a Grand Master Jedi Luke, just out doing his thing. Like he
See,
was.
I have a theory.
They've made such a big deal about him, and then he's barely in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so 3 things for me, briefly.
Yeah.
I love the scene where I hate her character, but I love the scene where she goes into hyperspace and blows up the ship.
Hold on.
That was really cool.
It
For
looked
me,
cool.
It was awesome. And the whole theater goes quiet because
It
there's no noise in space.
yeah.
That was awesome.
But-
I thought
but
that
it
was
doesn't
really,
make
really
sense.
cool.
It had a cool effect. It did not make sense.
It didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I agree.
You don't think anybody was ever like, let's try this whole like light speed into things to see what happens? You think she was the first person to ever think about that? No.
No.
You die.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what happens.
Well, and she knew that going into it.
But make like bombs or torpedoes with like hyperspace drives in them or something. Just shoot them at things.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought it was cool.
That would actually be really cool.
One of the
Just a bunch of-
coolest,
Yeah.
honestly, one of the coolest scenes in Star Wars for me is the scene where he's standing there by himself and that whole entire army.
Dude.
No, that is cool.
That shot.
The shot of Luke.
It's almost equivalent to the shot of Captain America in Endgame.
It is.
It's that kind of shot, and it is
cool.
that powerful, and it was awesome. And then I loved them shooting at him for I don't know how long, and then him just standing there and doing the brush thing. Thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
And then when Kylo comes down and the lightsaber goes through him, thought that was really cool. I thought the whole disappearing thing was cool. I thought they set it up really well, but then it was still a twist at the end. I thought that was really well done.
Well, they end on like the 2 moons or the 2 suns or whatever.
That was a nice little touch. For me, this is my I think I forget it off the top of my head. It's either my least favorite or my second least favorite Star Wars movie. I think it's actually the bottom one, but for those reasons, I like moments in this movie.
Do you like the movie as a whole, though?
As a whole, no. I think it's the weakest one. I'm not going to go out and say it's the worst movie of all time, but I didn't like it. I didn't walk away from it liking it. What's interesting to me is there's several things I hated about this movie that you didn't even mention.
Okay.
Here we go.
We're talking for way too long at this point, but
that's fine.
I hated Leia
Preach.
having the Force.
Preach.
So, I think they're going to dive a little bit into that 9.
I don't care. I hated it. And
I hated the way they addressed it.
I hated the way they did it. I hated the Force pull into the ship.
That was weird.
So dumb.
That was weird.
Especially if she's going to die later in the movie or later in the next movie.
They should have killed her there.
They should have killed her with Kylo. Like, that would have been such a cool thing, though.
Him kill both of his parents.
If he killed both his parents, that'd have been awesome.
They didn't know.
That
was the easiest.
I didn't like her being in the rest of the movie because all she was like a sick, injured person.
Well, she was in a coma or whatever.
Right, exactly. She was literally just like there. She didn't do anything.
And then they set up JJ to clean up this mess in 9. Like,
the other thing I really hated
Yeah.
was the last scene with the kid pulling the thing.
Oh, yeah, that was weird.
I hated that because how would he know how to do that?
Yeah, and Rey's someone that's force sensitive, and she's over there like having issues, and all of a sudden this kid's just over here like, oh my god!
Now everyone has the Force, and people have like, what?
Yeah.
So to me, those two things bothered me more than anything else in the whole movie, and I'm surprised you didn't address them. But those are the things that bothered me.
I forgot about the Leia thing, and that just made me upset because that was dumb.
I hated it.
Okay, so I get her having force powers. Like, it would make sense. Like, Luke has
them, like
totally
she would have,
because they're twins.
But I didn't.
And there were other books and stuff, other canon things that says she has the Force.
Well, and
but this was not the way to address it.
No, not at all.
Well, she's Kylo's mom.
Well,
right. So that
So
that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense for her, but like, no, you need to have had it happen. Make it happen in 7 once, where she does a little something. Have it happen a couple more times in 8, where she does a little something.
I like
not
her
just have her Milli Vanilli across.
Change it up and have Luke in it from the beginning, like giving her like lessons, like do this, like him
like
training
a
her, and
flashback.
she's like, I just don't know if like the Jedi way is like for me, and then
something,
cool.
man.
And then that's why she can still do. Oh my gosh.
That's one of the biggest things for me is that whole thing.
I'll wait to share my theory until next week.
That's a good idea
with Luke. But I have a theory about that coming up for episode 9.
Paul, what are your thoughts on 8?
So I'm very middle.
Okay.
I hate it a lot. It is. I will say it's worse than 3.
Is it worse than 2? 2's all. I don't like 2.
How do you rank the original, or how do you rank the prequels?
The prequels? I don't know. I haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
I need to. We'll talk about
is this
that
the
next
worst
week.
one?
I would say this is the worst one.
Okay. So we're all in agreement on that one.
But I did have a lot of moments. I enjoyed reverse Luke being reverse Yoda.
Yeah.
Where it's like, it felt like episode 5 of going to a planet where you go to find the master.
Yeah.
And rather than the master being funny and helpful and cute in a way,
accepting and all that,
he's a jerk. And like, he doesn't, and I completely understand the reasoning for him of, I tried to go as far away as possible, didn't want my family to, I didn't want anything else to do with the Force ever again. So I was actually very okay with that. I did not like how he just chucked the lightsaber.
Yeah, that was dumb.
And
He
the
could've-
sea cow milk and
That was also dumb.
That was dumb.
But I mean, a lot of the those were the best parts of the movie.
the scene with him and R2 was also really good.
The scene with him and R2.
Yeah, you're right.
The scene with him and Leia.
I like the scene with him and Leia.
I mean, it could have literally just been, for me, this movie could have been the beginning with them escaping, and even though there were some major issues with the destroying the Dreadnought thing, if they could have redone that and did it better, and then it just been all Rey and Luke, and then to the where they're trying to find another base, and this where they're on Crete, the weird salt planet, and then that been everything else could have went away for me, and it would have been a much better movie for me.
So, how'd y'all feel about the Kylo Rey connection, Force connection?
That was very weird.
Yes.
I liked it.
I think it's very weird.
Well, it was Snoke that was pairing them, right?
Yes.
Yes.
He was. Yeah. He was using his his extra super force.
Yeah, because we don't know anything about the guy.
Yeah.
I think it's...
Shut up.
It is, bro. It's gotta be. It has to be. So, look.
Uh-oh.
I can talk about this next week, too. Briefly, though, I think Snoke was essentially what Luke did with, like, the... what you call it? Transportation
Force
thing.
projection.
The projection
Oh.
for Palpatine. And Palpatine projected himself as...
But he got cut in half.
He got cut in half.
Right.
What?
It's a projection, though.
Luke got
Luke got
sliced
stabbed,
and nothing happened.
Palpatine can do different things.
Oh my gosh.
I do not think that Snoke was a real person.
I do think he was
Because
a
the
puppet
whole-
of Palpatine's.
The whole first
to a
movie,
point.
what is he the whole first movie? He's a hologram, right? The
Yeah.
entire movie.
Well,
is a
he's
hologram.
like legitimately like hologram. Like
He's like
being projected,
Palpatine
like-
was in like episode 5.
Exactly. So, I don't want to get into it too much. We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, next week.
But yeah, so
There's
for
a
me,
little tease for next week.
I don't
though.
think Snoke is a real person at all. I think he's a
Interesting.
Okay.
All right,
something.
we're now
Okay.
going to stop it at the 20-minute mark for 8. We're coming up on the 2-hour mark. How much more of this do we want to get into, fellas? I'm fine with keeping going.
I liked AJ's questions I brought up pre-show, so maybe if we run through those pretty
Okay,
quick.
I do want to go through one real quick, and this shouldn't take very long. What is the proper viewing order of all the movies?
So
And I feel like we all are going to be very similar.
I watched the way I watched these were, of course, how they came out, like 4, 5, 6, and then
Yep.
3, 2, 1. So to me, I like that order. Like it's been good, but the proper order is what? It's 1, 2, 3, Solo, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Right. Okay,
You'd
I'm
watch,
sorry.
You'd watch them in order.
So that is the order, right?
But how would you watch
But
them?
like chronologically of the Star Wars story, yes, that is the correct answer. But if you were to show your kids these movies for the first time, how would you?
I would do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then I almost like watching Solo and Rogue One after 4, 5, 6. I kind of like that. I like it that way.
And then do 7, 8, 9.
And then do 7, 8, 9. Yeah. So
AJ?
I would go 4, 5, 6. Probably Solo, Rogue One, 1, 2, 3, 7, 8, 9.
So this is I agree with both of your points. Because you did more chronological, you did more original release date.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be really interesting. I think AJ and I had this discussion. For me, proper way is 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then I don't care after that.
that's like release order.
Yeah.
Basically what I said, except for I added the stories in there.
But I would be really interested to show a kid, especially if it's my kid, 1, 2, 3 first, and have them see Anakin turn evil and not know he's Darth Vader, and then not know the Emperor is the Emperor.
That was the point I was kind of getting at with my order.
And I think that's really cool. and so that's just going to mean I'm going to have 2 kids and experiment, and one's going to watch them one way, one's going to watch them the other way.
Man, I think it'd be interesting to watch it.
I also really like the filling of the plot holes that Rogue One does. Like with 4, I like that a lot. Watching it afterwards, because there was so much satisfaction with being like, that's why.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I
like
probably
Rogue One
would do it. And realistically, I say 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and then probably Solo and Rogue One, and then 7, 8, and 9. That's probably how I would do it. But I do also like chronologically. So
I think 4, 5, 6 first would be really interesting, just for the Darth Vader twist. Because I don't know. To me,
you mean 1, 2, 3?
no, I mean 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Like
okay.
not knowing that Luke and Vader were.
Oh yeah,
related.
yeah.
Or even
Right,
that
yeah,
Luke and,
see,
or even
that's-
that Luke and Leia are related.
Right.
Like those would be 2 really big plot twists.
Yeah.
All
right.
Quickly, we have the Star Wars story question. Have they been good or bad, successful or unsuccessful so far? Briefly. I've liked them both.
I like them both. Rogue One is the best.
No
out of
doubt.
2 of them.
No doubt.
But I did enjoy Solo because it does help with a little of plot holes
And
as
they're
well.
just fun standalone movies.
Yeah.
I like the idea that they can do fun standalone movies, and they can
Yeah.
pretty much pick any content they want.
Agreed.
No, I think Rogue One's probably been one of the best Star Wars movies, like, period.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. I love
and
Rogue
the fact that it ties in and just fills the holes that four created. Not terribly holes, because obviously, there could just be a hole in the Death Star. Like, I don't know. But the fact that there was like a reason behind it and all this, and it's nice having these stories that aren't like, oh, this is the end of the galaxy if we don't kill this person.
Yeah.
Like those kind of stories.
And it was awesome for me, at least, to see Darth Vader in action.
His moment. Yeah.
Oh my
man,
gosh,
that
that was the
was so-
best Vader scene.
So cool.
That was the best.
That's so cool.
Solo was good too.
I liked Solo. A lot of people hated on Solo. It's not my favorite. It's probably, I forget. I made
It's
a
probably-
list
it's
the other
middle
day.
tier.
It's middle
Yeah,
for me.
I
Somewhere
would
in
agree.
there. But it's, for me, starting the stories like movies with Rogue One was a great choice, because that was a really great movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Yeah. What were your
I've
questions,
got-
AJ?
I've got 3 questions.
All right.
Each one, I don't know how long we'll talk, but
That's all right.
it shouldn't be too bad. Okay.
Y'all know if you haven't stopped by now, you're going to be with us till the end.
Okay. Who is the most powerful Jedi?
Oh, boy.
Yoda.
I would go out and say Yoda. I'm just gonna say
Wait.
I'll stick with Yoda.
Jedi and Sith, or just
Sure.
Jedi? Okay.
Most people argue Yoda, Luke, Anakin.
Well, it's hard because movie wise, we don't know how powerful Luke actually is. We don't
Right.
know how powerful Darth Vader actually is.
Right.
And so, that just leaves, to me, it leaves obvious choices.
To me, it comes down to those 3 plus the Emperor, so it comes down to 4. And it's actually Anakin and Darth Vader are the same person, so it really comes down to
Most
3.
powerful Force user all around.
Yeah.
Palpatine, Luke,
is the Emperor. And then I'm going to honestly, even though we're not really sure, I'm going to say Rey is the most powerful Force user. I think she is going to end up being more powerful than...
Because she read some
maybe
books.
not Yoda. Maybe not Yoda. So Palpatine, Yoda,
to me, it's
and
Palpatine
then Rey.
and Yoda.
But I think she's going to end up being more powerful than Luke was and then Darth Vader was. Because no other person we've seen...
Lifted some rocks.
Well, picked it up
That quickly.
without knowing.
And not being
Well,
taught.
except for the kid that pulls the broom to him.
Okay.
And not being... but
Okay,
not-
yeah, that's the most powerful Force user. That's Broom Kid.
That's Anakin Skywalker's next grandchild.
And that's kind of why I agree. She's somebody's relative, whether it be
I hope
Obi-Wan,
it's
whether
Obi-Wan.
it be... I think
Obi-Wan and the princess?
What
I
if
think she's Luke's relative.
Or the queen?
Really?
I think she's related to Luke.
But
we'll dive more into that.
yeah, that'll be next week.
But I feel like Rey, and 9 could just poop on this, but because 9 could just make her be just some dumb person who luckily knows how to use. And if that's the case, then yeah, it's Palpatine, Yoda, who are very, very close.
Okay, so
and then yeah, I would say probably Luke and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
for me, it's Yoda, and I agree with Luke. I think it's Yoda, and I say that because we see him and Palpatine fight. And the reason Yoda loses that fight is because he's not willing to use the dark side of the Force. So to me, Yoda is a more powerful Force user than Palpatine, but he's limiting himself to certain aspects of the Force.
Yeah.
That if he were to open the doors other places...
Well, then that opens up something else. Is Luke the most powerful Force user? Because since he walks that line...
That's why a lot of people. That's why a lot of people make that argument is because
he's
because he's in between, and then obviously because he can do things in Episode 8 that people have never seen before.
No,
but
see,
nobody knows.
And that's
for sure.
one thing that I do wish Episode 8 addressed, because I was hoping this way before 8 came out was that he would turn out to be what are they called, gray Jedis or something or other, where they are true middles.
Yeah,
they have both Force. Or good Force and evil Force, and I think they're called grays. But yeah, that I was hoping that would be, because that's the only way to stop, scales from. It's the only way to have true balance is to be in the middle.
Yeah,
right.
But they didn't do that, so maybe they'll do that with Rey. Who knows?
Yeah.
Thanks a lot, Episode 8.
My real answer is Obi-Wan. So
Well done.
Okay, who is the true chosen one?
Ha ha! We've
Anakin?
Gotten it.
Was it Anakin or is it Luke or is it Rey?
So I'm gonna throw a big monkey wrench into this. Baby Yoda. Not kidding. It and Anakin are the same age. I did the math.
Right.
50?
Yeah, because it was born. If we do the math of when, because
it's 5 years after
Mandalorian.
Ish.
It was in 9 ABY, after the Battle of Yavin. And if you go back, it's 41. That's the same year Anakin was born. And because if Anakin is the true chosen one, or then they're saying that's when the prophecy came about. Baby Yoda was born the same year. Baby Yoda, true chosen one. Boom.
There's just no way.
I disagree.
There's no way. There's no way because...
I love it.
I love the theory, but it is ridiculous because the Mandalorian TV show is not going to be that meta. It won't be.
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Okay,
Baby Yoda.
So here's my theory. My theory's different. So mine is
well, of course it's different.
You think it's Luke?
Well, no, mine's like different than like it's a single person. Mine is that it's the Skywalker name is what brings balance to the Force. So
that's why the rise of Skywalker.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Anakin had Luke, so that was part of him. He helped bring balance to the Force. He helped bring Luke to the Force. Luke is the neutral Jedi, who's middle, so balance. And then I think Luke is what ends up bringing, this new wave of like Force user Jedi people that have, because he trained. I think he didn't train Rey to be like good, right? He trained her kind of like middle. He wasn't like super Jedi-y with her, or
what little training she had.
Yeah, like I assume he teaches the way that he uses the Force and stuff. So I assume that. So I think it all stems through the Skywalker name, and then that's when tease for next week. That's when all the new Force users are called Skywalkers.
Yeah, I have a big theory that I agree with.
I like that theory a lot. For me, the answer is Anakin.
Baby Yoda.
It's the answer.
I love that.
And honestly,
I had facts too, guys. You can't just ignore
No, I like the facts.
I'm just kidding.
I'm just saying
go
the Mandalorian's not going to be that meta. But so for me, it's Anakin because obviously the end of Episode 6, he kills the Emperor. We don't know. Apparently not. But and he.
What if he comes back and kills the Emperor again?
Guess who's back?
That'd be amazing. But no, he is the chosen one, and I think I agree with Luke to some extent that the Skywalker name is like it carries over a little bit, maybe. But I do think it's Anakin. I think he is the chosen one, and I think that is partially why Episode 3 is so good because it leads into that. My last question.
Okay,
here we go.
So over time, we have been kind of like told as a society that episodes 4, 5, and 6 are some of the greatest movies of all time.
Preach.
Right? And to me, they deserve the credit that they get. But to some extent, I feel like we over glorify the original trilogy and make them out to be in our minds better movies than they actually are. So my question is the original trilogy overrated in general? Like, do people hold them in too high of esteem and just throw away everything else Star Wars does? Or is it rightfully held that high? I don't know. What do you guys think?
So, I think they are the best Star Wars movies. I don't know what order, but my 1, 2, and 3 are 4, 5, and 6 in some order. Spoilers for next week. But I feel like people have them on too high of a pedestal.
Yeah.
I love 4, 5, and 6, but 1, 2, and 3 have their moments. Rogue One is probably 4.
Yeah.
For me. Like, it's an amazing movie. 7 was really good. 8 had its 2 moments.
Sucks.
9, I hope, is just killer.
I hope 9's
like
great.
So, but yes, 4, 5, and 6 are the best for me. But I think there are too many people that, have them on too high of a pedestal and say, "Oh, this isn't as good as 4, 5, and 6," blah, 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 blah. And they just make too many over comparisons.
To me, it's too easy of an argument to say 4, 5, and 6
That's
are
fair,
the
too.
best. And everything else is garbage. It's like the Alabama effect, the Golden State Warriors effect, the Patriots. It's like, well, you're not the Patriots.
Oh, now.
Because everyone hates the Patriots, obviously,
no.
right?
But like,
I don't have any
you know
of
what
the
I'm,
shot.
but
Dang
you know,
it.
but you know what I'm saying? Like, people are just
No,
like,
I get it.
oh, bro, it's just not. It's not the same. It's like, well, why not? Well, it's just not. Like,
See,
that's your argument.
Nostalgia.
It's nostalgia, and it's history, and it's culture, and it's our parents and our grandparents, and everyone on the internet. You can't badmouth the original trilogy. And I'm not badmouthing it at all. I love the original trilogy. But to me, like, people just hate the Rogue One, the Solo, 7 and 8, and 1, 2, and 3 just because it's not the
as
original.
good. Yeah, I agree with your statement. It shouldn't be that way.
And to me, and I'm interested to see how you feel about this whenever we actually rank the movies 1 to 10 or 1 to 11 later, a couple weeks from now. But because I think for me, episode 4 is either number 2 or number 3. I forget which one off the top of my head on my list, but I love that movie. It is one of the best movies of all time, and it's still to this day, I think, one of the top 5 or top 10 highest grossing movies of all time. I think it's top 10 for sure.
Probably, yeah.
And it's awesome. It is a great movie. For me, 5 and 6 kind of take a dip down, but I don't know. Like, for people, they just worship those movies.
I mean, there's better trilogies out there. Like, in my opinion, like, I think Back to the Future is a better trilogy.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
That's a hot take.
Hey.
Yeah.
They're good.
But
I'll give them that.
But for me, like,
consistently good.
But like for me, the Dark Knight trilogy is up there.
I'd like to.
The Dark Knight trilogy is up there. The Lord of the Rings trilogy is for sure up there.
Yeah.
I think there's just so many good movie series out there that people worship the Star Wars original trilogy, and I don't know. As a saga, complete saga, Star Wars kind of stands alone. Honestly, it comes down to Star Wars and the MCU for me. Like,
This is
those are the
something
two.
that I heard today listening to a podcast, the Real Blend podcast. It's a good one. They were saying that Star Wars, the movies, like the saga as a whole, has had more misses than hits.
I might agree with that.
Interesting.
I might, but
I would probably disagree with that, but I do agree that it has more weaknesses than the MCU or than most other series do.
by comparison, just pure numbers.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, MCU has double the amount of movies of Star
right. But what I'm
Wars.
saying is the MCU has fewer misses in it than Star Wars does. Like MCU
I
has
would probably agree with that
fewer
too.
bad movies in it than Star Wars.
Yeah, I honestly, I wonder if the gap in time period is such a factor.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I just wonder.
No,
because
you're probably right.
Because 4, 5, and 6 were late 70s, early 80s, and then you jump to the 2000s, early 2000s, because I think 1 came out in 1999.
It did.
And then you jump to when did
2015?
Yeah.
14, 15.
I mean, we're talking decades.
Yeah.
Like, if they maybe were a little more...
Well, there's kids today that don't... Their first memories of Star Wars are
is
of Rey
7. Yeah.
and Finn and whoever else. Yeah.
Right. And maybe that's why Star Wars does it, to get the new fan base.
Appeals to different generations.
But
Yeah, 100%.
I think for a all-around Star Wars person, it might have made better sense, because that's why we all like the Marvel movies, because they're all right now.
Boom,
Yep.
boom,
They're
boom,
all
boom,
in
boom,
our
boom, boom, boom.
time.
Yeah.
See, I don't know. For me, like, Star Wars is a timeless story that will live forever.
Because it's all set in...
Oh,
It's not
And
even like...
long time ago.
There's nothing to date it.
100%, and it will live forever, and they will continue
yeah.
to be Star Wars movies and stories and books and video games and whatever forever, TV shows.
That's probably true.
And I will take my kids and my grandkids, and we will all go watch these movies, and we'll watch them on TV, and we'll watch whatever.
Yep.
And I love these movies, but for me, like, I don't know, people just simply say this is the gold standard, and I don't necessarily think that's true.
A lot of them follow the crowd. Like, everyone, you know...
That's also true.
Everyone, they're just... It's a bunch of crowd followers. Like, 4, 5, and 6 are like, oh, don't touch the Holy Trinity. And then they're like... And then they automatically hate 1, 2, 3, 7, and 8 just because. Like...
Right.
Just because everyone else does. It's like, oh, it's a cool thing to hate on those movies.
Mhm.
Right.
Like, a lot of happen, like, a lot of what I'm seeing recently is, like, people, like, love to hate on episode 1. And now people are like, it wasn't that bad.
That's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I like it a lot. I went and saw the 3D when it came out in 3D. And so, like, that's something I've seen lately. It's like, it was cool to hate those movies at a certain time, but now people are like, their real opinions are coming out. And they're like, I actually kind of liked it. Like, it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely hate 8, and there will be no changing that.
Hey, man.
I hope there's some really
You
important...
have reasons.
I hope there's some really
And
important
that's-
connections in episode 8 that, like, relate to episode 9 that you have to, like, go back and
Oh
watch.
my gosh, I'd be so upset.
Luke will be like, Luke will be in the theater like, dang
It's like Thor the Dark World.
it!
Like, Endgame, all they did was, like, make you want to go watch Thor the Dark World again, even though that movie
Like, dang it, it had reasons.
Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know. I feel like people look at those movies with kind of their nostalgic glasses on.
Yeah.
Oh, these movies are the best, whatever. I don't know. I feel like there's other stuff out there that's better. And I think there's other stuff in this movie, like in this saga, that's better than that. But
Yeah.
I do think Star Wars is, like, from a just, like, sheer universe that they've created, there are so many storylines out there. You've seen Clone Wars and Rebels go for 10 seasons combined now. I mean, how many more shows are there already
11.
planned?
Well, they have Resistance.
Oh, yeah, 7's coming out.
I do need to watch Resistance.
I haven't watched Resistance at all, but
What's
It's
the one
on-
that's currently coming out right now?
Well, it's on
okay.
the first season or whatever's on Disney.
Yeah.
Disney
Filoni's
Plus.
doing that one too.
really?
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I think Star Wars will continue to be really, really successful for a long time.
yeah.
And they've already talked about making another trilogy that's not a part of the same timeline. It's a
Ryan
different,
Johnson's making a trilogy.
but
I honestly
give him
want
a chance,
them
bro.
to finish and I want them to do it right, the Solo trilogy.
it'd be
Oh,
cool.
yeah.
Because they were, talked about because they left the first Solo with the big cliffhanger.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
It'd be pretty cool.
I think that would be really cool. So
I,
But
The
they make a
one-
whole lot of money, and that's what they got a little started like, we're going to hold off on these Star Wars
Well,
stories
yeah.
for a little bit.
The
That's what
one
they
movie
said.
I think that they should make that I've been theorizing should happen for a long time
Obi-Wan.
is Obi-Wan TV show would
Knights
be
of the Old Republic.
amazing. For me,
Ooh.
what I would
That was a
love to
good game.
see would be a rated R Star Wars movie
Vader.
that's a lot like Saving Private Ryan. It's a war movie set in either the Clone Wars or in the War Against the Empire. And it follows around like one group of like soldiers or whatever. You can make it about pretty much whatever you want. But it is like on the ground. The Jedi and Sith or whatever are like side characters who are there, but they're not really that important.
It'd be a good clone movie.
It would be a good
I
Commander
think,
like Rex and stuff.
I think that movie would be awesome. Like, that would be such a cool movie. You could basically treat it like a Clone Wars episode
Yeah.
and just make it live action.
God, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I think that would be so cool and so awesome.
I agree with Luke. They should do
The
a
Knights of
rated
the
R
Old
Darth
Republic,
Vader movie.
The Darth Vader would be sweet. there's just so many things that can happen. I love Star Wars, and I think we'll always love Star Wars. But
yeah,
this
and
has
maybe
been
stuff
fun,
like
boys.
that'll happen because Disney, I feel, is going to start getting it because they've already confirmed that they're going to do Deadpool in the MCU, and it's going to be rated R.
Yeah,
It has to be.
It has to be because I mean, like, I don't know if you've seen those movies, but if if Disney can start to
Branch
get
out a
into
little bit.
that, maybe there will be like they'll do that in other rated R, like a, and I mean that whole rated R term makes it seem very bad and wrong, but like certain movies that are rated R are some of the best movies of all time, like Saving Private Ryan,
doubt.
one of the best movies of all time.
No doubt.
So yeah,
There's certain R-rated elements that need to be in a story that make it work,
Yeah, for sure.
or make it work. Like Saving Private Ryan.
That's one of the things about The Mandalorian, I think, that's holding it back a little bit for me is the PG rating that they're trying to stick with.
maybe.
I think it holds it back, and I love that they're doing it because I love that they're trying to reach a humongous audience, which they clearly are.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But I do think that's going to hold the Mandalorian back as a character from being as cool and tough and whatever. I mean, it's the same thing with Revenge of the Sith, right? Revenge of the Sith is the only Star Wars movie to date that's PG-13, right?
Yeah.
We're 7 and 8 PG-13.
I don't know.
I thought Rogue One was PG-13.
I remember
It probably
episode
was.
3. I think episode 3 is the only one of the original 6 that's PG-13.
Yeah.
That was a huge controversy when it happened.
Oh yeah.
but
I remember that.
But if that
too.
wasn't PG-13, then I don't know how good of a movie that would have been.
Oh yeah, it probably wouldn't.
Could have had the Anakin stuff at the end.
Could have done Anakin.
That
you
was,
could've-
I think, the only reason that it was PG-13.
Is Anakin? Well, there's some Grievous, like when he like explodes and
Cutting
stuff.
the head off of Dooku. And
Cuts Dooku's head off.
You barely see that.
Palpatine like turns into Palpatine. It's kind of gross. I don't know.
Cities.
Yeah, or turns into Sidious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. So to me, I think we're way off topic at this point. But
Oh, that's all right.
Star Wars, man, we could sit here probably for another 2 or 3 hours just talking about
we
random
could.
junk.
We could, but I feel like this has been a good one.
Yeah, for sure. Next week we're gonna do a preview episode of.
GoPro might be dying, y'all. Uh-oh.
We're gonna do a preview episode of episode 9. So we're gonna share some of our theories, our hopes, predictions, and then we're gonna share some popular fan theories off the internet
Yep.
that people have, and we'll kind of just discuss what we think will happen, what we hope will happen, things like that. So I'm excited about this episode. We had an episode like this last spring about Endgame, and I thought it went really well. It was a lot of fun to kind of theorize and see what happened.
No, it's doing something different than what we usually do.
Yeah, it's just a little change up. And the week after that, we'll watch it and we'll review it, just like always.
Yay.
Pumped, dude. I've had my tickets for like a month.
Me too.
I'm excited.
I'm excited and sad at the same time. Excited to see it, sad that it's all coming to an end.
Oh, yeah. I got a bunch of movies to watch between now and then. I'm trying to watch them all before it comes out.
Yeah, I do too. I haven't watched any of them.
I've watched 1, 2, and 3 and got to keep it coming. Probably
We got
going to watch
about
Solo.
2 weeks, so.
Watch Solo and Rogue One this week.
I'll probably, But yeah, so yeah, like I said, we got that, and then final episode of the year will be our ranking of all the Star Wars movies.
1 to 11, baby.
1 to
Well,
11.
is that all we got, I guess?
That's all we got.
It's not all we got because we obviously, I know we all have more to say, but this would be 4 hours long.
Episode 3's
So yeah, we're going to cut it off here. Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope to hear from you. Look forward to
no doubt.
releasing the next episode next week when we get ready, prepare for episode 9. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you next time.